Fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much for being a member of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Today on the show, A-Day storylines, what A-Day means, the crowd size, an undefeated meetup. Let's talk about it, and I want to take your calls. And the call-in line is open from the jump. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line number. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. You should be excited because you get an opportunity to watch Kalen DeBoer, his new staff with this loaded Alabama football team jump on the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, beautiful Bryant-Denny Stadium, in what should be a fantastic Saturday. Go support your team. Go support the product. Give your new coach all of the momentum that he needs going into 2024. Because when you zoom out and you look to what's going on in Alabama, there's a lot of positivity, right? You replace Coach Saban, which you really can't replace, but from a head football coaching standpoint, and you come in and you take over as Coach Kalen DeBoer, and he comes in screaming with momentum, screaming with positivity. You hear the music on the outside. You can feel it. You can feel this new energy. And to say what worked in the past, it worked. Look at all the national titles. Look at where Alabama, the brand of football, is, right? It's still the number one brand in all of college football. But what Coach Kalen DeBoer has come in, he's added his way of doing things. He's got a really good aura. The guy is genuine. He has a really good staff. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about when I look to Coach Kalen DeBoer and his overall staff is, for the first time, really, I feel that this staff has a really strong personality of guys who can clearly coach at this level. But when you bring in former head football coaches, like, for example, Kane Womack, right? He was just the head football coach at South Alabama, brings a ton of experience. You bring in Mo Lindquist. I talked about him yesterday on my show, and just the respect that I have for him and just how these guys are honestly true professionals. You hear that word being used a lot within the Alabama football complex, the professionalism of these guys, as well as the players. I mean, you saw the interview with Jalen Milroe, right? Wherever you stand, on the quarterback situation, like, you can honestly admit that Jalen Milroe is a 1,000,000%. It's honestly like he's already in the NFL, which is going to be, by the way. You hear from Nick Sheridan, the way that he handles himself, professional. You look at these guys like a Tyler Booker, my goodness. Who wouldn't want to have that young man on your football team, in your NFL roster, right? Imagine those are your leaders here, right? Deontay Lawson, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore, Devontae Smith. Then you welcome on, some guys who have played at the highest level, Keon Sabb, right? Damani Jackson. Those guys coming in from really big programs, adding to the staff. So I like where things are. And A-Day is coming up. So when I think about storylines going into this particular game, and if you're just here, please take a minute to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're a fan funder, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for supporting us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I think with the storylines is, number one, I want to see the development of the offense overall. Yesterday, Ty Hayes and I talked about the running backs. And I think I want to see those. I know I want to see those running backs in action. I want to see how they are utilized within this up-tempo, high-potency style of offense. I want to see the helmet communication. I want to see the fluidity of the offense. I want to see mid-range passes. I want to see deep balls. I want to see explosive plays. We're not going to get to see a lot because it's a glorified practice, but I want to see a little bit of it for sure, right? If it happens to be that Caleb Odom comes up and catches a touchdown pass while jumping 10 feet in the air, and you have Kendrick Law who rips off a jet sweep for who knows how long, I'm here for it. Kobe Prentice, right? I can't wait to see what he does as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to see. I want to see the development, honestly, of the quarterbacks. And we're not going to get to see too much of, what these guys have put in place, but we'll have seen something. You heard the interview from Jalen Milroe, the positive praise, somebody that believes in him. I love it. I love that interview. That was the best interview that we've had all spring season. I want to see which wide receiver stands out. You know what? I've been hearing a lot of positive things about Jeremy Bernard, the transfer from Washington. And guess what? Heard a little nugget about Josh Cuevas, right, who came from Washington to Alabama. And, he's made some good catches during practice. Stood out a little bit. That's a good tight end room. He was saying to my source that he can already tell the difference between playing at Washington and playing at Alabama. And what he meant by that was the competition level, the fast pace. Look, the Pac-12, it doesn't even exist anymore, but it was never on the same level as the SEC. There's a big difference. There's a big jump. Everybody that's in this chat understands that. And I'm not surprised to hear it. I can't even imagine what the coaches are feeling, seeing this level, this amount of talent at your disposal. Coach Saban left this place absolutely loaded. There were some guys who left for sure. That was going to happen. It's going to happen on Monday with the transfer portal. There's going to be some guys that go. But the nucleus of this entire team that is still here, loaded. Can win as many games as you want to. Can win as many games as they want to. The teams that can beat Alabama, there's some out there for sure. But I think, this team can win as many games as they want to. I think they're that talented. Storylines on the defensive side that I'm looking at, I want to see the inside linebacker play. I want to see the pass rushers. I want to see guys like Keon Keeley, Aquay Russo, who's probably, one of the names that has emerged this spring. I want to see what do we see from Q Rob. Guys within the defensive line rotation as well. And, of course, the secondary. Who's going to make big plays? Who's going to stand out in this game? And just because they stand out in this game doesn't mean that they're going to stand out during the season, right? It's just spring. And if you're just catching this and you're a prospect or you're a member of the football staff or the football team, rather. Saturday does not dictate your position within this team going forward. Stay patient. This is a good place. This is still the most eyeballs in the country are still in Alabama football, 1,000,000%. You're going to get your chance. Everybody gets their opportunity at some point, but you have to be ready when that opportunity comes and presents itself to you, right? So just because you don't catch a touchdown pass or you don't get 10, 15 players, whatever, stay patient. I think if you believe in this system and you believe in the coaching staff, they're going to put you in a really good position to flourish within this system. It's going to take some time. It's okay. We all get a different chance to shine at different times, right? So excited for it. Let me ask you, Undefeated, and everybody inside the comment box, and I appreciate you guys joining me this morning on a fine April 11th. How many people, what do you think the attendance will be for A-Day? Over 75,000? Somebody said there was 92,000 for Coach Saban's first A-Day. I don't know if that's accurate or whatever, but look, if you're out there and you're kind of on the fence about coming, come down, right? Come down, check out Tuscaloosa, see the growth of the city, go to A-Day, support your team, support the players, buy a Link shirt. I think you can, Taron Arnold, he's doing like a meet and greet, I think on Friday, just tomorrow. By the way, I'll jump right to it. The Undefeated meetup. Let's meet at, I'm going to look at the schedule, but let's figure out a time to meet by the Nick Saban statue. Oh, and I got some big news for you. Guess what? The pre-show and the post-game show, that'll be at Westgate Luxury Condos. So, we're excited to be working with Westgate Luxury Condos once again. We really appreciate them hosting us. So our pregame show will be at Westgate from the Sky Deck up top with Coach Sean leading off. We got Coach Smook, myself. We'll watch the game. We'll hang out with you guys, Walk of Champions, all that. We'll get into the game. And then after, we'll have the post-game show. You guys can call in. And, looking forward to seeing all you guys in the Undefeated gear on Saturday. So we'll come up with the time, but the Nick Saban statue, we'll have our gathering. We'll take a big photo. It'll be an Undefeated family photo. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday. Wear your Undefeated gear. Everybody, please welcome Jordan to the family. Jordan Campbell, what's up, man? I appreciate you rocking with us, becoming a fan funder for as low as $2.99. You can support the product. We are supported by you. Fan funders right here on Bama Football on YouTube. That's how we pay the coaches, the super chats, the fan funders. You guys supporting us, honestly, that is how we pay the bills. Like, we're not a part of, a big organization. It's just YouTube, and we're doing it organically right here on the website. So I appreciate you being here. So we have a couple calls that I'll get to in just a minute, but I wanted to wrap in, just say good morning to you guys. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. I want to hear from you inside the comment box. What storylines are you looking forward to when you think Alabama football and their spring game taking place on Saturday, aka A-Day? All right, we go to the phone lines. We got a 256. I believe it is Coach Darrell. Let's do it. Hey, Coach Darrell, what's up, man? Good morning to you. I appreciate you being here, and welcome to the show, man. Come with it.
Morning, Kyle. Let me simply say this storyline. I'm looking for two words: continuity and improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And the continuity I'm looking for the defensive, offensive lines. They were decent last year, but I'm looking for mass improvement. I'm looking for them to return to the dominance that we like to see here in Alabama. I'm looking for the linebackers to be a factor. I'm looking for them to be a factor in the pass game and in the run game. I'm looking for the defensive line. I want to see some depth develop. I want to see rotations. I want to see the run back. I'm not really worried about the running backs. I think we'll sit right there.
Mm.
But I want to see effort. I want to see enthusiasm, and I want to see excitement. That's what Alabama football is all about. It's about pure excitement. That's what I call it. PE, pure excitement. And I'm getting excited now thinking about it right now.
Mm.
So I'm just, I'm waiting to see that continuity that Alabama always has.
Yeah.
That especially since Coach Saban came, that we knew that we had some questions, but we knew those questions was going to be answered when the ball hits the field. When they kick the ball off at Bryant-Denny, we knew those questions was going to be answered. We didn't have to wait to 3-4 games. Oh man, he's not doing this. He's not. No. All that's over with.
Mm.
We're going to have a solid team. We're going to have a team that I equate it almost like the blackout game in Georgia, because nobody still believes in this team but the players, the coaches, and Alabama's fans. Because people are, I told you, they're like the barbarians at the gate at the fall of the Roman Empire. They're all coming in. Well, I saw a prediction. I told you early this year that Alabama will go 6-5 next year. Are you kidding me? 6-5? Well, whatever you smoking, you need to quit it. So we got people that they want to see it. They want to see the fall. They want to see us in confusion and grasping for cards. That's not going to happen. I think the coaching staff has solidified the base. I think the coaching staff know that, like you said, you made a great point. Coach Saban left the cupboard stacked.
Yep.
And so they are just waiting to unleash what they have in a new format and a new enthusiasm for Alabama football. And guess what? I'm going to watch it. I told you, what the monkey said when he got his tail cut off, don't you? It won't be long now. Because it won't be long till leg day. I can hardly wait, Kyle.
Coach Joe, who are you looking for to be like an A-Day MVP? Maybe, like, since you started out with the defense, like who could you see being like a defensive MVP for this game on Saturday?
My MVP probably would be, I'm gonna tell you somebody. He's been there 3 years, but I think he's been good, but I think he has a chance to be great. Tim Smith.
Mm. Yeah, I like
it's time for him to come off the good and turn to the great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Tim Smith, James Smith, Tim Keenan. You know what? You bring up a really good point. When you look to Alabama, like in the trenches, because I think overall, like, I think the easy thing when you think about this team, we know the offense is going to be good. Maybe damn good. Like, are they going to be elite? Well, it's up to them. But we know that they already have the components. But like on the defensive side of the ball, and specifically like the trenches, you want to see what you're bringing. It's interesting to think about the fact that Coach Kalen DeBoer, he came over and he brought some assistants with him. But he didn't bring any defensive assistants with him. And the defense from Washington, what were they ranked? And they finished the year like ranked 100 or 108 or something like that.
That's 100 and
something, right? So think about that. He didn't, and the one guy that he did bring, he found, I don't even know if he was here because he found another job with Tennessee before things really started happening. So think about that, fam. No Washington coach on the defensive side of the ball came here. So maybe in self-awareness, and people who are really smart have self-awareness, maybe it was like, look, that defensive setup wasn't it. So he had to build his new defense. And we're seeing it right now. Charles, what's up, man? We appreciate you becoming a fan funder of Bama football on YouTube. Thank you very much. Everybody, please welcome Charles inside the comment box. Coach, make a final point, man, before we move on.
My final point is you got to be aware of where you are. You know, in the Pac-12, that conference has always been dominated by USC. The Big Ten, there's only 2 schools in the Big Ten. People can talk all that trash they want to talk about Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been decent, but if you go back and look at the history of that conference, 2 teams, Michigan and Ohio State. When you come to the SEC, you got about 5 to 7 schools that can beat you at any time on the road or at home. So there's no competition level, and I think these coaches understand where they're at. They understand who they're coaching. They understand what they're facing. They understand the tradition. And baby, I can hardly wait.
I appreciate the call. Yeah, always great to talk to you, man. I appreciate you batting lead off today. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dell calling in from Huntsville. Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. And roll tide to 832. You're in the queue. I'll get you next. Banks, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Banks says, what's up, Kyle Henderson? This year, I'm really pumped. You, in your own words, who is going to have the biggest impact going in A-Day, all positions, who is going to have under new coach Kalen DeBoer? Well, I think when you look to I think when you look to guys who are going to shine on Saturday, it's easy for me to think about a guy like Kobe Prentice making a big play. Maybe a Kendrick Law, maybe a Jeremy Bernard. I said, I've gone on record and said that my A-Day prediction for back-to-back will be Justice Haynes. I just think he has it. I'm going to hype him up, and I'm going to give him his flowers. And that's no disrespect to Jam or Richard Young, because I think those guys are going to get the job done as well. That's just kind of who I'm rolling with right now. But I'm excited for these guys because, look, think about it from the player's perspective. Nick Saban just left, and everybody is doubting this team. Nobody believes that this is going to be able to, Alabama's going to be able to hold the standard of being an Alabama type team. So it's important that fans show up to show them they support this team still, right? And it wasn't just about Nick Saban. It was about this whole brand. So if you're out there, once again, like, come watch the game. I'm not paid by Alabama, I promise you, right? You've seen how many interviews I've gotten with Coach DeBoer. But I'm telling you, support the players. Like, go out and support him. Emmanuel Henderson is a hell of an option for an A-Day MVP as well. And he's been eating for sure, 1,000,000%. T, what's up?
Good morning. How's it going?
It is going amazing.
Good.
T, I'm so pumped. In the mornings,
This is your time of the day.
Yeah, and it's crazy because when I work out, I'm pumped up, I feel good, and I'm even I listen to Father Church to get ready in the morning. Is just like
some reggae today.
Yeah, so I went from Father Church he's thanking God for this day, and then I went to Matthias Yahoo, and I went to I'm just, I messed with the plants this morning. I messed with the dogs. I got the workout in. It was raining, of course. We live in a flash flood. I saw the trash truck. You guys have this where you guys live. So I bagged all the mulch this Sunday, right? And I put, 14, 16 bags of old mulch, like 2-3 years of mulch, right? I bagged it up. Even T helped me last night. Thank you, T.
You're welcome.
Those bags were
heavy.
Those were heavy bags, right? So we put them in your front, and then the trash, this is my favorite thing, is the claw comes through, and it's this dumpster. Do you guys have this in your neighborhood? And if it's bagged up, you don't have to bag up your stuff, but it's like proper form, right? So I bag it up.
Back it up.
Pack it up. Let me begin. I came to win. Battle me. That's just all right. So, and then this claw comes and it picks up everything and it just dumps it. It's undefeated. I saw what someone one time in our community page was like, can the claw pick up a couch? And someone was like, oh, the claw's undefeated. And it was. Yeah. I saw it. It came out and it picked it up and just put it in.
Well, not only that, but it can pick up the tiniest, skinniest things too. like with such precision.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Thumbs up for the claw. All right. We got another call on line 832. Let's see. I think this is, let's see. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. You're on the line with him. Where are you calling in from?
Good morning, Kyle. Rama Jamma, Bama Nation. Good morning. How are you?
I didn't even
this
see
is Mike in Austin, by the way.
Mike, the down in the penitentiary must have blocked the number because I didn't see you calling in. But this isn't even a collect call. I mean, are you out on bail, or did you call Saul, or what's going on here?
No, well, they gave me a 30-minute leave. Every day I get a 30-minute leave of that just to go down to the corner store, run down to the adults, just whatever, just to restock on supplies. But it ain't that bad of a life here, better than being locked up. It ain't that bad of a life, but just kidding, man. But, hey, Kyle, check it out, dude. Check it out, man. On a serious note, right? No, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. But on a serious note, though, man. Rama Jamma, congratulations to the Bama basketball team that totally overachieved, punched above their weight. Coach got the most out of the team, best run they ever had in the history of Bama basketball. So Rama Jamma, Yellowhammer, congratulations to them and all the fans and the players and everybody else. So kudos to our basketball team, man. First and foremost on that one, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. I appreciate you pointing that out. And somebody asked me inside the comment box, I missed it, on Chris Parker, who's decided to hit the NCAA transfer portal. Look, I think guys are going to hit the transfer portal, whether it be basketball, whether it be football. We've said this before, like the grass is not always greener, but the grass is pretty damn green right now in Alabama, for sure. So, and players, think about hitting the portal for different reasons. It could be NIL, it could be something else. I don't know. But what I know here is that Alabama basketball, this wasn't a one-hit wonder. What Nate Oates has going at Alabama basketball, like this is a pretty good foundation that he's building on. This isn't a one-year deal, where he got pretty hot. No. Like he's building something really special. And as soon as they build that arena or whatever it's going to be, Nate Oates, how old is he? Is he 48? Is he 49 years old? Right? As long as they get him, some throat lozenges, I mean, he could be here for,
49.
He's 49. He looks really good, too.
Yeah, he does.
So, no, I'm glad you brought that up. So, Alabama is a football and a basketball school. And that's a really good question, Shane. Is Right Sell coming back? I don't know. Is Grant Nelson coming back? I don't know. The way he played in the back end of that NCAA tournament, I know it was fantastic. So that was the Grant Nelson that we wanted to see all year. If he plays like that all year, I don't know how many games Alabama wins, but he played at the, see, I was talking about this yesterday with my barber. Alabama basketball played to their best of their ultra ability. The only thing that stopped them was that they didn't have a giant rim protector, right? Other than that, they didn't, underachieve. They just played to their absolute peak. That's what I love about this team. What else you got, Mike?
Well, exactly right, Kyle. And on the football front, Kyle, here's what I see kind of playing out. We're 3 or 4 months into the DeBoer tenure as our coach. So far, so good. Very satisfied as outsiders, a Bama fan looking in. But here's what I see a difference on this, what's going on now compared to it was when the GOAT was our coach, Kyle. There seems to be, like y'all just talked about, a new energy, a new excitement in the program. Yeah. And with God, and like I say, with all due respect to the GOAT, I think that was just what was missing a little bit over the past couple of years. And the prime example of that was Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's a great player, but all year I've been thinking, okay, Kool-Aid and some of these players are just playing on their talent. They're playing on their experience. They really don't have their heart in the game. They don't have their head in the game. Their heart and head somewhere in a bank or somewhere in a. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but I felt there's kind of been a little bit of energy missing. But it seems to be back. When I watch these coaches are coaching with high energy on the field. The videos y'all are putting out that I'm seeing, these clips, these players are totally buying in. So that's what I really, really like, man. The energy that this coach is bringing. And Kyle, real quick before I go. You probably saw this. ESPN brought out this list of the top coaches in college football. Kirby Smart was number one. Okay. But number two was Kalen DeBoer. He ain't even coached a game at Alabama yet, and he's already the number two coach according to the ESPN. But check this. But he is absolutely going to get the best out of his players and get the most out of least. Look what he's done with Washington, man. In 2 years, he was already playing for the national championship. He's good at getting the very best out of his players, and I think that's what he's going to be doing. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, just the excitement and everything. But Kyle, I'm going to let you go, man. I got to get back, dude. Cell inspection starts at 9:30, so I got to get ready, man. But good luck. God bless. Ramajama, roll tide, stay strong, Bama Nation.
All right.
Seekers now.
Mike calling from the other side. I'm glad he gets a little bit of time to stretch his legs and get away from Big Squishy. Hey, T, can we update topic number 2? I guess when I sent that to you, I said A-Day means. Can we put like A-Day, I don't know, A-Day something else?
Yeah.
I don't know what A-Day means. Like, I saw when we added, I was like, A-Day means. It's all good. Okay, I was going to mention something. I think going off Mike's topic, like this new energy, this new wave, like come feel it for yourself, right? Like you can get a taste of it. I don't know if they're going to play music the whole time or really what to expect. And Mike brought up this ESPN top coaches. So ESPN, and so it was funny because On3 got thrown under the bus for this, but they didn't. So ESPN came out with a list, okay, of top coaches, and then On3 created a graphic of these top coaches, and then tweeted out the graphic, and then in the top right in the small font, it was all per ESPN. You see what I'm saying? Are you with me here?
Yes.
And they had Kirby Smart and Kalen DeBoer as number 2. Okay. Kalen DeBoer is a great football coach. Great. And, what he did, in the past is amazing. He hasn't coached a game in the SEC. Okay. And people were furious because, think about the coaches. You got Lane Kiffin, you got Steve Sarkisian, you got Dan Lanning, you got all these coaches, right? And he's already number 2. And they were saying that just because he coaches at Alabama, he's automatically the number 2 coach, which is not. He's not. Honestly, he has to prove that. And plus, you don't want to be number 1 or number 2 right now anyways because you got the target on your back. You want to be back in that 8 or 9 spot. That's where Alabama wants to be ranked anyways going into the season. You don't want to be way up there. All that pressure and expectations. So they had to come out and say per ESPN. But ESPN, you anyone's at Bama, you're the best coach. Alabama, think about this. Maybe we can do some research, I only think that Alabama's spring game is only on ESPN.
Yeah. I
on the forefront.
Yeah, yeah.
No other programs matter.
G-Day is that? I don't think that's.
I don't know. When's the last time you guys saw Kirby Smart on ESPN or Dabo Sweeney?
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know it was called G-Day until.
Is it called G-Day?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Huh. G-Day.
I've never heard that until just a few weeks ago.
Did you? I'm starting a YouTube channel about the same content you do. If you have any advice, what would it be? Dude, it just there's 500 different YouTube channels. I mean, everyone starts a YouTube channel on Alabama football.
My advice would be not Alabama football, right? Something totally different and random.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so saturated.
It is. It'd
be hard to break into if you're not already in it.
I think that if you want, you could do there's not a lot of, the reason why there's not a lot of other channels that just talk college football is because nobody gives a shit about Iowa.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about SMU. Nobody cares about Illinois. And these are massive programs. But overall, people just care about those programs on Saturday when they play. People care about Alabama football every single day, right? But also you had to just be you have to have the personality for it too. You have to have a passion for it. You have to be consistent with it. And most importantly, you gotta have the personality for it and the passion for it. Like, you really have to like what you're doing.
Yeah,
So
an Auburn roast channel. That's not a bad idea.
That may be the best. That may be the best.
Like
there you
roast the rivals.
All you have to, the
Rivals roast.
No, the Auburn roast.
Yeah.
You just wake up and you're like, all right. So today, these are the top. Like number one.
Like the biggest foul ups of the.
Did you know that Nike is sponsoring Auburn right now? And you could have so much. That's a really great idea. There you go. Don't do Alabama football. Do an Auburn roast channel. And like, you could wear an Alabama football hat or something like that, but just roast Auburn all day.
And that would probably help you break into the Alabama market too.
Yeah, there you go. That's how to do it. Yeah. Let's see. Kevin, what's up? You guys the most subs out of all of them Alabama football channels on YouTube. That's because you put out the best content. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, kind of with this quality work. Good number 4, we're not bringing too much hype. Yeah, look, I've been doing this for a long time. I feel like I found myself. I'm at a good spot for what I do, where I'm at. Goal of, thanks to you for posting that. But I feel that I'm relatable, and I try to relate with everybody. I've lived in a bunch of different places. I've met a lot of different people, and when I step on here, I try to just be really relatable to you guys, honestly, because this is who I am. This is who I am when I hang out with different people. This is me, and I appreciate it. Mike, what's up, man? Kyle, do we have an 8-day list of recruits? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Ty may hit on that, who just popped in now. And then I know Coach Smook will on the back end. So appreciate it. Let's see. Kyle, the reason you guys are having so much success is because you guys actually interact with the fans. And so this is really important too. One thing that you have to understand is, when people step onto the podium, I'm going to give people a little bit of the secret sauce. When people step onto the podium, they more than likely want to hear themselves talk, okay? And they want to talk with somebody else, and because what it became, this whole podcast thing. This isn't a podcast. This is a live show with live interaction with the fans, right? Anybody want to ask me a question inside the comment box? I'll post you on the screen right now, and I will talk to you. But what happened is you had, I'm going to tell the truth. You have writers who are great at writing. They put a microphone on, and they told their higher ups were like, do a podcast. So they started doing the podcast with just 2 people with no interaction. Because on a podcast, have you ever talked to your podcast host? T?
No.
Exactly. So they brought that same type of philosophy. Now I'm teaching a class right now, and I've taught a class, right, T? Remember?
You have, yeah.
I taught a master's class. So what happened is they came over here and they brought that same type of philosophy, and they still don't understand that. They feel that they're talking to just me and you when they should be talking to the fans. LaQuasia, what's up? How good does that make you feel when I call your name out or show you that respect, right? Danny, what's up? I appreciate it. Daniel Denny, and look, and I'll post you on the avatar, right? Kareem, what's up? Right? Marquita, what's up? Jeremy, what's up? Right? Because you matter. You're watching, you matter. David, what's up? I agree. I watch a ton of Bama football videos, and the team, more than any of them, exactly. And look, they will grow because this channel has grown other channels because it puts you in the algorithm, which is fine. But you're not going to find a lot of channels that interact with the fans because they just feel that they are the expert, right? So that's a little secret sauce. Interact with the people. Ty, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here.
What's going on?
Oh, man, we're just wrapping. There's probably echo. Hold on, let me take that off. So I'm feeling amazing, Ty. I'm just really grateful. Have a lot of gratitude for this beautiful day. The clouds could blow out. You know what? I got a lot of energy from that eclipse, I think. And it's kind of like spilling over. I'm just like, I'm happy. The eclipse, I was grateful for the people that were able to see it. I wasn't able to see it, but I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm really excited about Saturday. I'm happy for the players. I'm happy for Coach Kalen DeBoer. I'm happy for Jamarcus Shepard and Nick Sheridan and Freddie Roach. You guys see the mic'd up with Freddie Roach? It's amazing. Like, these guys are flourishing. The best thing that has happened so far, I don't think, like, the music at practice, whatever. It is cool to be able to see that. But the opening of the assistant coaches, what a genius move to be able to showcase their abilities. And you know what that does for them is it showcases just how talented of coaches these guys are and the coaching that these players are getting.
100%. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot of interesting things. Unfortunately, I don't have a list of recruits or anything like that. I haven't been able to put one together.
I think Smook will do that. So, and I know a bunch of, guys are coming into town, and it's going to be great to see if anyone commits on a day or what. Just wait. If these and a lot of these guys who are coming into town have already been here a couple times or whatever, they're going to get the royal treatment. Yeah. And do thumbs still matter? Heard from any? Yeah. So yes, they do matter because a lot of things matter. I could tell you all the secrets that matter to building up a channel, but yes. So, and people, what's been weird is people are like, stop asking for the thumbs up. Number one, what it does, there's a thing called an algorithm. So, and it's really not algorithm. It's called audience. So replace algorithm with audience. What YouTube wants to see are people interacting on your YouTube channel? Are they hitting the thumbs up? And what that does is it pushes your YouTube channel up. Ty?
Yeah, 100%. So like you said, their interactions, and listen, I don't have a channel near this size, but I do have a channel at Around the Table Sports, just shy of 22,000 subscribers. And what I can tell you is that there are multiple different types of interactions. So a like is one interaction. You clicking on the video is one interaction.
Yep.
A comment is one interaction. A subscription is one interaction. A bell notification is one interaction. And what YouTube is looking for is if someone comes in and they leave obviously you get the view. If they leave a like and a comment, if you're able to compound interactions, that's how you can increase your place in the algorithm, right? It's all about compounding interactions. And yes, view duration absolutely matters, but it's all about compounding those interactions. And if, they'll know if it's a subscribers, they'll obviously understand you can't subscribe 1,000 times, but then the like, the comment, the view, it's all about the compounding of interactions. That's how you get into the ether that is YouTube.
So, this was interesting right here. My boy, what's up, EJ? Welcome on in, man. I haven't seen you.
New Jersey.
Yeah. This is interesting right here, man. I hope you're off to a good start, EJ. Think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. $2.99. If not, man, go grab yourself some nuggets or something like that. I told you guys that Caden works at Chick-fil-A, my son, right? So he's been buying stuff at 50% off. Right. So he'll get, so the other day I went to go pick him up and he's like, hey, you want me to buy you something? I'm like, sure, of course. And he got me a chicken wrap. And he's like, by the way, he's like, nobody orders a chicken wrap ever. But he's like, this is only like $4.50. So it was cool. I was like, this is the first meal you've ever bought me, man. Tier. Okay, Ty, I know you've been able to see, what was the young man's name from New Jersey, Ty?
Lotzier Brooks.
Lotzier Brooks. So you type this up, go to On3 24/7 Rivals. Lotzier Brooks. Number one, I love the name. I can't wait to. I want to say that again and again. Lotzier Brooks. It's like when I say Cote d'Ivoire. T always teases me because I'm always saying Cote d'Ivoire. Lotzier Brooks. This guy is lightning. He's ultra fast. Ty, what type of intel do you have on him? Just from like a snapshot. I think everybody, even Whitfunk, has RPA'd him to Bama. He's from New Jersey. Kalen DeBoer is going from LA to the Bay, all the way up to New Jersey. Man, like he's going to be the next guy to commit. I don't know if he'll be the next guy to commit, but it looks like he is going to commit. Ty, what do we know about Lotzier Brooks?
So 5'10", 185 pounds, and there's a lot to like about his game. First and foremost, you talk about acceleration, and that's how you can gain separation at the very early stages of your route, right? Like there are multiple ways receivers will work. We can think back to a Jerry Jeudy, who his release was so dangerous that he was breaking cornerbacks' ankles off the line, and he was gaining separation instantly from his release. Someone like Alotsier Brooks, his releases are nice, but it's his acceleration. He gets up to top speed so tremendously quickly that these cornerbacks don't have any chance at the early stages of the route. Now, that's all well and good, but what about the intermediary and the long portions of the route?
Mm.
Kyle, he's the fastest player they've measured in the 2025 class, coming in at 22.1 miles per hour. So it's not just acceleration.
That's
He's
crazy.
got long speed. I mean, you're watching plays of his highlight. I believe it's number 12, the touchdown number 12 on his huddle film is absolutely ridiculous. It showcases not only the acceleration, but the long speed. He is going to be a really interesting player. I understand that he's a 3-star. Add him to that list, just like Luke Metz. I told y'all every year I put together a list of 3 stars that you need to watch. Add Brooks into it. This is a guy that will at the very least be a 4-star. He's got all the intangibles you would want and is absolute lightning in a bottle. If Alabama gets him in, watch out. You're looking at a very dangerous receiving core.
If you're a 5-star and you come into Alabama, do you just like immediately play? Or if you're a 4-star, do you just immediately play?
No.
If you're a 3-star, do you just automatically play? I don't know. I don't know about star rankings. That would be really hard to rank all these players. I used to work for student sports, and I would travel all across the nation, and I would go to these high school football camps. They were really combines camps. It's amazing, man. Like trying to rank all these players is pretty much impossible. But like this Alotsier Brooks, what I do know is he's ultra fast. So look him up, watch his highlight tape. We'll bring it to you if he does commit. And the way that you have to recruit your wide receiver position, you have to have your elite speedsters. You have to have your guys who are bigger bodied. You have to have your guys who are possession, so you mix and match based on the type of needs that you have. So Alotsier Brooks, look him up. He's been predicted to commit to Alabama at some point. Ty, what are we looking forward to, this Saturday when we look to Alabama's spring football game?
Yeah, so I think multiple things. First and foremost, I don't have a complete list of the visitors. I was trying to put that together before I came on here, and I was just all over the place trying to complete it. Wasn't able to do so. So we'll talk about that lightly. Smook certainly will have that. Y'all know Smook is the recruiting insider. I mean, he's got so many great relationships forming. What I will say, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, is when you're recruiting receivers, when you're putting together a receiving core, you want stylistic differences in your receiving room. And here's a great way to look at this. So right now, Kyle, I've been talking time and time again that Caleb Odom is going to be really hard to put off or to get off of the field, even though he's a true freshman. And the reason's simple, because when you go down to the red zone, say this coaching staff is like, okay, we're in the red zone, let's run a 2 tight end set. You could theoretically have Oots, you could have Dipree, and you could have Caleb Odom on the outside because now he's a wide receiver. You put Daniel Hill in the background, it doesn't really matter. Maybe you have Jeremy Bernard on the other side. But the reason why he's going to be hard to take off the field is he's going to create value for himself already because he has something you can't teach. He's 6'5", meaning he will have red zone packages. You excel in that, you're going to get more. But then you have like a Bubba Hampton or a Cole Adams. They're not 6'5", but they are technicians in their route running, in their ability to separate. That's going to get them playing time. You look at a Jeremy Bernard, you look at a Ryan Williams. These cats are just all around wide receivers, right? Like whatever you need them to do, they can go do. Kendrick Law, an absolute chess piece. You're moving around. And what you're doing is you're causing distractions for the defense. One thing that we know about Kalen DeBoer, it's all about creating assumptions, making the defense act on that assumption and making them wrong, right? Like that's the beautiful part about this offense. So when we fast forward to what we can see Saturday, what I'm really interested in is just seeing the guys playing within the scheme, seeing the guys play fast, play smooth, no injuries. That's the biggest thing. But it's also the spring game, right? Like we're not going to see the complete offense and the complete defense in its polished form. It's just, to me, about understanding the scheme changes that they're implementing.
Bama football fan with a 1999 super chat. You guys are killing it. Run the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Love that sunset on the water. That looks nice. We have water, but it's on the asphalt here in Tuscaloosa and in the trees. Ron, could everybody please welcome Ron Williams as a fan funder? And then EJ, I told EJ earlier, I was like, think about becoming a fan funder. And he's like, I am a member. So just tell EJ thank you again for being a fan funder. We appreciate you. And then Steven had a question. This is an interesting question. He's like, can you point it out to you? He's like asking about.
He was asking.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
yeah. It's important that you guys like understand how the show is run, right? It's a community-driven show, so I want you guys to be able to understand the specifics about the show, how it's run. So Stephen brings up a good question. He's like, "Why do you do only one segment on your show?" Yeah, and then I just this is interesting because people don't know. Okay, so right now, this YouTube channel, the way it's run now is not going to run like it's run in May, June, July, how it runs in August. There's always going to be different ways that the YouTube channel runs. So specifically right now for the spring season, I'm on for an hour, then Ty, then Coach Smook, and then the evening time. It kind of depends on what we have practice-wise, right? And we have to make sure that we are putting out videos that you guys are watching. And it also has to do with scheduling. So for example, it's not like I just do that show and then that's it. I upload Coach Kalen DeBoer. I do all the player interviews. I have to at the practices. I'm at the practices for 4 hours. Then I have to come back, upload the footage, edit. Do you guys look? I'm missing a keyboard. My space bar. Let's see if I can find my space bar. And I spilled my drink. Look at my space bar is gone. Okay. So I'm using another keyboard. Okay, this is behind the scenes. I just spilled my coffee. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and I'm doing this all while I'm picking up Caden from Chick-fil-A. I'm picking up Lacey from dance. So I'm the one who also and you guys didn't even see this, but I recut a video as well while we were on the segment, and I'm going to upload that. I do all the thumbnails as well. If T isn't doing the thumbnails, I'm doing the thumbnails. I'm writing the descriptions for the videos. We're doing the scheduling. That's why I have to wake up at 4:35 to work out. So there's a lot going on, behind the scenes. So
I think a lot of people don't also understand, and I get this being a content creator. It takes a lot longer than y'all think to do the editing and the tagging and the coming up with the description, because it's very specific. So when you look at our descriptions, you'll notice there are keywords in the description, and it's about trying to not nonsensically, but make it make sense to where there's many keywords in the description as possible. So you'll check out a video I release and it'll be like, today we're talking about Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer uploading all of the newest information in terms of this position group. Will Alabama be atop of college football, right? Already I have Alabama football, Kalen DeBoer, college football, recruiting, news, right? I'll look up, shoot a 10-minute video, and I look up and it's an hour and a half later, because then you do the thumbnail, you do and so what this allows Kyle to do is continue to go to the practice, focus on that content while he has the stream running as well, giving great content.
100%.
It just maximizes what he's able to do.
Yeah, 100%. So it allows me to continue to do other things for the channel to help it continue to grow, because I can't be at the university and uploading stuff at the same time. And it takes a lot of time. And a lot of it, too, is if I edit something, I have to boost the audio. I have to put the graphics. I have to put the right thumbnail. So I have to do, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. T does a lot. Like the other day, this is how it happened. I recorded the video. Smook held the microphone. I uploaded a video from my truck. I contacted T, who was driving my daughter home from dance. She cut the video out, posted it to Twitter, and then with the link back to the video. So that's, 3 people right there working on one video, and then the end result are big views on a Jalen Miro video. What's up, Rallo? Asking, do we know anything yet about Parker Brailsford, who's a transfer from Washington? What we do know is that he is staying at Alabama. That those words came out of Coach Kalen DeBoer's mouth. What we don't know, and probably won't know, is why he's been absent the last 2 scrimmages. It might just be something personal. And if it's just personal with something him and his privacy, then that's it. And you leave it at that. But I think just knowing that he's going to be here coming out of Coach Kalen DeBoer's mouth, like that's the most important news. He also said, that James Brockemeyer is doing an amazing job. At center, we were able to watch him, Coach Kapilovic, working with James Brockemeyer, who's Alabama's center right now. But Parker Brailsford is going to be at Alabama. That's according to Coach Kalen DeBoer himself. So, that's kind of the latest update on that. Someone was saying that O.J. Simpson.
I'm so confused. O.J. Simpson died? What?
Yep.
Cancer. Are you serious?
O.J. Simpson died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When was that?
I don't see it.
That at 76.
New York Post, and let me see.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's all over.
TMZ posted it 8 minutes ago. And that's TMZ. Yeah, Goodness gracious.
ABC has it too.
Yeah. Wow. O.J. Simpson. Holy cow. Prostate cancer. Huh.
That's awful.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to dive into with O.J. Simpson.
Did he do it?
Well, I mean, I think that's when you look back on O.J. Simpson's life. That's probably.
I'm starting a poll.
Allegedly.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot, but anyways, O.J. Simpson passed away. That just in. But when I think about, so hopefully that answers Rallo, the question about that. Are there any questions before I get to my to Ty's segment? Ty, are there any questions that you have for me going into A-Day?
Yeah, I have a few actually, and I would say one more thing in terms of it. It could also be on the Brailsford situation a transfer credit. And it was interesting to me when I saw him not in pads. And I don't know, Kyle, if you have seen him in pads since, but if you don't see him in pads for the rest of the spring, that would indicate to me that maybe it's a transfer thing and he's not actually allowed to be working out with the team right now because maybe there's something from Washington, a credit that's not transferring over right now. Who knows? Basically, suffice to say, there could be any infinite number of reasons. And Kyle, I think you hit the nail on the head. We probably won't know. Todd says there's the lawyer at Ty. Yeah. The word allegedly is burned into my brain, right? Just absolutely singed into the frontal cortex of my brain, just stamped there. But questions for you, Kyle. Who are some under the radar players? Maybe some guys that we haven't discussed. We've talked a lot about a Red Morgan, but who are some guys that you think are new to the team that will shine during A-Day that the people need to know about?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think we're starting to hear a little bit more about Jeremy Bernard. He's one of the players that we really haven't spoken about at the wide receiver position, but I mean, Jalen Milroe had a lot of positive things to say about him recently within his interview. He said that Kendrick Law is getting all the wide receivers together at 5 a.m. To go over film and whatnot. So Jeremy Bernard, I think, is the guy that I'm watching. I mean, Coach Smook and I know you too, Ty, you've been big on Daniel Hill. I feel like we've been talking a lot about all of these players, but Daniel Hill at the running back position, I mean, who knows what he's going to be able to do in short yardage positions. I talked about this player earlier, Josh Cuevas at the tight end position. He's been kind of doing his thing on the defensive side. Let's not forget about Mbakwe. I think that Jalen Mbakwe is still in the fold, maybe like a Peyton Woodyard as well, one of those guys that we don't talk enough about. Even like a Sterling Dixon or a Caden Jones, like these younger linebackers are really, really talented. So don't forget about those guys. And I guess like someone that I'm watching is like a Yanzi Pierre. And that's a name that maybe we were probably familiar with, but Steven can't hear me.
Steven, well, I guess he can't hear me either. Steven,
can you hear me? But on the D line,
good on my end.
Yeah, I'm fine. Probably just, who knows? It's different audio issues, But I'm like a Keon Keeley, man. It's it's time for him, I think. So excited for him. I'm gonna be watching too. So the par 3 round of the Masters starts today, and I love watching the Masters. When you look to, I was watching, like I was scrolling through Instagram. and I was just watching like Tiger Woods and past Masters and everything that goes into the Masters. Man, I love it. I mean, I love golf. You guys know that, and I haven't been able to play in many tournaments. I played in how many? I just played in two tournaments.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
Oh.
I need to play more golf tournaments. There's one this Saturday, but I can't miss a day for the golf tournament. I don't even know where it's at. I didn't even look because I knew I couldn't play. But I love the Masters. I'm excited to see the Masters, and I'll be watching it all the way down to the end. So excited to see some of these younger guys, but also excited to see the Masters. So a lot going on. But you know what, Ty? Before I go, I just want to reiterate to everybody, like, go support these players and these coaches, because this program is not done. This brand is not done. It's still here, and these guys are going to be really good. Coach Saban, everything that he did, you'll never forget what he did, but like, these players and these coaches deserve your support. So just go out and support them, buy the products, and, enjoy yourselves. Like, the more that we can be like in this moment, appreciating like right now, all the better. And you have a really good football team. You had a really good basketball season. Like, things are going really well if you're an Alabama fan. So just enjoy your stuff. And anything else, Ty, that we have, like any like final question that you have for me?
Well, I see Poetic in here trying to light a fire into the chat, saying golf is an activity, not a sport. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, you know what? No, that's interesting. Let's put that up. So I think about, because I've always like, I'm a great team player. Okay. I always grew up playing team sports. Baseball, I was really good center fielder, really good wide receiver. Basketball, give me in the outside. I could take you to the paint, whatever. I love all team sports. I never played an individual sport. And the thing about it, and you'll hear, I think Michael Jordan said this, is he said it's the hardest sport because it's just you. Your basketball, you're not having your best game. You pass it out to the point guard, you pass it out to your center. You can kind of, you can get by as a team, right? You're not, you drop a pass, maybe your running back runs for 150 that day. You're the quarterback, you're not having the best game, your running back or the defense comes in with the play. Baseball, let's say you go 0 for 3, you're not going to lose a game because somebody else might go, 2 for 3 or 3 for 3 with 2 bombs. With golf, that's on you. A 3-foot putt to win a match, that's on you. Getting off the tee, that's on you. Hitting, your short range and the different conditions. And I promise you, I have played against people in these competitions. It's mindset. When you've gone in there and you're not, and somebody can get under your skin and you can't hit the play, it's a mindset game. That's why I like the sport about it. Like, so it's all on you. And go and if you don't think it's a sport, then go out there and try to putt, try to get out of the sand. It's all on you. I love it. So that's kind of my thing on golf.
I knew that would start a war. I had to stoke the flames of dissent right there. I saw it. And I was like, "Ooh, an opportunity."
But I love you, Poetic Injustice, man. I love it, man. And Poetic Justice, man. It's also a really good movie. So is Happy Gilmore.
Oh gosh,
is there a Happy Gilmore 2 coming out? Did someone say that with Shooter McGavin?
Mm-hmm. Shooter McGavin's been on Twitter, or at least he might be trolling. But Shooter McGavin's been on Twitter, like saying that they're trying to get a Happy Gilmore 2 together.
Yeah, he's with the guns. I'll see you outside by the hay. Oh, so many good ones in Happy Gilmore. That's good. Okay.
I used to work at the country club here in Denton, and it's one of the. I think there's only 4 courses in the whole state of Texas that have these certain greens. And one of them is the Byron Nelson, where the PGA hosts. So whenever the Byron Nelson would be in town, we'd get a lot of the PGA pros come to our course just to because it's much more secluded, much more intimate, right? There wouldn't be as much people, but I know that we had the Dallas Mavericks one of their old GMs. He used to come out there and play. Oh, there's the unfortunate. There's Apple trying to light the flame, but we'd have all these people come out there during that tournament, and yeah, it's wild. I would always tell them, hey, if you're having a bad day on the course, throw me out there with you, and I'll make you feel like you're Tiger Woods, because I am awful at golf.
Oh man, well, you're not awful on camera, and you do a really good job, and the community loves you. Ty Hayes, Around the Table Sports, definitely give his YouTube page a follow. Follow him also on Bleacher Report or wherever you get your football coverage. He's out there everywhere. He's got you for the next 30 minutes, and then you got Coach Smook coming up right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Today around, I would say 5 p.m., you got Coach Kalen DeBoer speaking to the media one last time before Alabama's A-Day. And then remember, on that day, I will announce the time. But we're going to do a undefeated meetup. So if you're coming to Tuscaloosa, if you're a member of the undefeated with your gear, come to the Nick Saban statue. That's where we're going to meet. We'll take a group photo. And we're going to be producing our pregame show and our postgame show from Westgate Luxury Condo, their Skybox. Really looking forward to it, and we'll have tons of coverage on A-Day. So the Nick Saban statue, that's our meetup place. Time to be announced, and we'll get to you on that, Cynthia. So we'll announce that on tomorrow's show about what time we're going to meet, because you have like different type of events going on with like the Walk of Champions. It'll probably be like, I think a good time could be like maybe like an hour before the Walk of Champions, because you're going to be lined up there anyways. So we'll figure it out, and we'll post that on Friday right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Ty, do your thing. Have a great show, and I'll catch up with you guys soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Appreciate it, Kyle. As always, shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Henderson. Shout out to T in the back. I always have to give my thanks to the big three, being the undefeated T and Kyle, because without those three, this doesn't work, right? Without those three, none of this happens. And we've been able to cultivate a really unique thing over here. And that's all thanks to you guys in the undefeated, thanks to T in the background, and thanks to Kyle. And I'm just very blessed to be a part of it. So thank you all for allowing me these segments. Thank you, Kyle, for allowing me these segments. Thank you, T, for all that you do. It really is humbling. But we have got some exciting things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that really caught my attention yesterday, and most of you have probably seen it, Kobe Prentice was doing an interview, and he was talking about some of the young guys and how they're really impressing. Two names that came out of his mouth really early in this interview. He said Red Morgan and Zay Mincy are really turning heads. But he said specifically Red Morgan is picking up this defense similar to how Caleb Downs did. Now, he was sure to clarify, hey, I'm not saying he's Caleb Downs in his style of play. I'm saying that he's Caleb Downs-esque in terms of coming into this situation, instantly getting the defense, understanding what he needs to do, and make plays. Kobe Prentice talked about how in one of the first practices, there was a long pass and Red Morgan goes up and has a one-handed interception, and everybody just kind of sat back and said, whoa, guy hasn't been here 3 weeks and he's making big-time plays, like big-time plays. That should excite everybody. I have referred to Nick Saban's class. Specifically, I have referred to Nick Saban's defensive back class as Nick Saban's parting gift to Alabama. That was the area where Alabama was hurt the most via the transfer portal. That's where the most talent left. But Nick Saban made sure that he was going to have a class ready to come to Alabama that would be able to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we're seeing. We've heard great things about Jalen Mbakwe. We've heard great things about Zabian Brown. We've heard great things about Zay Mincy. And certainly, we have heard great things about Red Morgan. But at the point where a player is the one divulging this information, that to me is interesting. That to me is compelling. It's one thing to have me or, someone say, hey, this is a guy to watch. But whenever one of the players that's directly out there competing every single day, one of the players that is going to be an unquestioned leader of this team is Kobe Prentice. I mean, you talk about the leaders of this team. Who are we talking about? We're talking Jalen Milroe. You're talking Tyler Booker. You're talking Malachi Moore, Deontay Lawson, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law. Ty Simpson coming back was huge. For one of those guys to point out and say, hey, first and foremost, and once again, I want it to be known. Red Morgan said all of these true freshmen are playing really well. He said every single one of them are really, really impressing. But his eyes lit up whenever he started talking about Red Morgan. You could tell, right? One thing that I always had to do that we did in moot court was we had to learn how to kind of study body language. And not to say that you're some psychologist, but you kind of start watching body language of the judges in moot court, of the guys you're going up against, the guys or gals you're debating up against, so that you kind of start to understand when you make a point that the judges are interested in. How does their body language change? How does their facial expression change? How does your opponent's body language change? If I make a point and all of a sudden I realize that, Fred, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker, my man. Thank you for coming in here, spending your time with us this morning. Kevin, I saw that you're in here right after surgery. Shout out to Antoine, Poetic, David, Dwight, LaQuacia, Caleb, Bama fan, Todd, Kareem, Cynthia, Moon Rocka, Southern Red, Goofball, Rocket, Bama fan 95, Jeremy. Happy you're all in here this morning. But one of the things you start understanding if you want to be really good at debate or even at moot court is you have to start understanding body language, because you're not, like I said, a master psychologist, but you need to understand if I make an argument, if we're talking about the 14th Amendment and I make an argument pulling from case law, start doing secondary and tertiary case sites, and I look across and I can tell my opponents, they don't like the argument I'm making. They look uneasy. They look like they're scrambling. You bet that's what I'm going to go in on. Because in my mind, it's like, oh, you don't have something for this. So when you get up here to talk, the judges aren't going to be pleased. They're not going to be compelled with your answer to my argument. So maybe I was going to take the argument a different way, but I can tell that the judges are really liking what I'm saying right now. I can tell that my opponents aren't liking what I'm saying right now. I'll shift the argument mid-round. The reason I bring that to your attention is because when Red Morgan started talking about all of these young guys, he lit up. Or I'm sorry, when Kobe Prentice started talking about all these young guys, he lit up. When he got to Red Morgan, you could tell there was a palpable excitement there. You could tell that, like, hey, all these young guys are different. All these young guys are different. They're not playing like freshmen. They're out here making plays. But that Red Morgan, yeah, they knew. After he had that one-handed interception, this is a guy you need to watch. This is a guy that's out here making plays. This is a guy that is making the most out of the opportunities. The next name out of his mouth was Zay Mincy. I don't have to tell you in the undefeated how high I am on Zay Mincy. Anybody that's been around this channel, anybody that's been around my channel, you'll know. I always say this, but if you'll remember, Coach Sean and I did a stream for early signing day. The studio was not able to be inhabited, so I had to go to Rudy's Barbecue. Right? I had to go to Rudy's Barbecue. And we were sitting in there. And I told Coach Sean at the end of our final stream on early signing day, hey, do you think we can get Zay Mincy? I love what we have in the defensive back class, but that guy right there is different in terms of his versatility. He can play any position in this secondary. Where do you need him? Well, they ended up getting him. Secondary is great, great, great. Really excited. Banks saying, would you mind getting me access to all things Alabama football? Do you have an email to send? Banks, I'm one of you, my man. I'm just a fan like you. Any access I have to Alabama football is just through talking to people. Now, obviously, I know some people who will give me nuggets, who will give me information. But this interview I'm talking about was on Instagram. Someone sent it to me. So that's really like the only thing that I differ, like, because I do content, Banks, people will just send me stuff. Like, I'll just open up my Twitter and I'll have like 50 new messages, and people are just like sending me interviews, sending me clips, all that kind of stuff, the stuff they want to see talked about. Moonrocky, you know, I'm going to answer all these questions. Yeah, I'm in Texas though, so I can only have so much access to what's going on. But great news to hear about the young guys in the secondary. Great news to hear that Red Morgan is really showing out. That's what we want. That's what we want. You need these young defensive backs to come in and make an impact, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now, we transition from talking Red Morgan to talking more about the transfer portal, what moves we think Alabama could make. There's a lot. There's a lot of moves I think Alabama is going to make in the transfer portal. And as the transfer portal approaches and it gets closer, you keep seeing inclinations. 24/7 Sports just put out a list the other day of the teams who they thought would be willing to not only spend the most in the transfer portal, but would make the most aggressive moves. You know who the number one team on that list was? The Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, this echoes the sentiments that I have been putting out there, that Coach Smook has been putting out there, that Coach Sean has been putting out there, that Coach Jay has been putting out there, that Kyle has been putting out there. We've all said the same thing. But it also echoes the sentiments that none other than Josh Pate has been putting out there. Now, this is interesting. You'll hear a lot of things from a lot of people, right? One of the best bits of advice I ever got is, hey, get advice from a lot of people, but understand how to filter that advice. Josh Pate talks to everybody. Josh Pate is all over the nation. So we know that Kyle, Smook, right? They're going to have the best when it comes to Alabama football news. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why we're here. That's why I jumped at the opportunity to hop on this platform, and I am so thankful that Kyle gave me this opportunity, because there's no better place for Alabama football news. There's no better place. There's just not. That's the reality, right? What he has built, what we do, this is your stop for Alabama football news. I apologize. I was reading Todd's comment. Kyle's in the building. Smook is in the building. You see Kyle and Smook in the videos interviewing these players. So when you get information, it's coming straight from the source. But the reason why I bring your attention to Josh Pate is because Kyle and them, they know. But when you hear Josh Pate go out there and say, hey, I'm in other buildings all across the nation, and there feels like there's this uneasiness that every institution out there, they certainly have one eye on the portal, but to quote Josh Pate, and I quote, not only do they have one eye on their situation, they have one eye on Tuscaloosa. There's this feeling amongst college football teams that Alabama is getting ready to make moves. Now, for those of you that have been around since the coaching search, which is most of you, right? For those of you that have been around since the coaching search, since all of that, you'll know I like my fighting, right? I like combat sports. If I'm not watching football, I'm watching boxing, I'm watching kickboxing, I'm watching UFC. In my free time, if I have the ability, I actually train kickboxing. I do some boxing. My dad was a boxer. It's just something I've grown up with, right? I very much will enjoy combat sports. Always have. But I likened Alabama in the early portions of when Saban retired to a boxing match. We were in the early stages. We were in round 1, 2, 3 of a 12-round fight, and Alabama was taking the licks. Alabama was getting punched, but I kept preaching to everybody that would listen, Bama will punch back. And when that punch back period comes, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Ladies and gentlemen, the rabbit got a big gun. and the rabbit has a questionable disposition. I have a feeling Bama is going to be very, very active in this transfer portal. They were punched in the early rounds, and now it's time for the get back. And the get back is always sweeter. This portal opens up Tuesday, and already you're seeing. The other day, yesterday, in fact, I turned all of your attention to a running back out of Oregon State. Not to say that, hey, Alabama will be in on him. They won't. Alabama's running back room is loaded. They don't need anything in terms of running backs. I turned your attention to that name, Damian Martinez, to highlight, hey, guys who are already established players, guys who are a 1,300-yard rusher, someone who is set to be one of the top running backs in college football, he's entering the portal. There are going to be names hit this portal, ladies and gentlemen. And then you have the Bear Alexander situation, where they're saying, oh, we don't know how this information came out. I promise you this. Hayes Fawcett is not going to jump the gun. I promise you that. If Hayes puts out a graphic, he had information. Why did all of these places report Bear was entering the transfer portal, and now all of a sudden the word out of USC is, we don't know how that happened? Come on now. Y'all got the money right. That's what happened, right? That's the transfer portal. We're in for a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen, and just know I think you're on the beneficiary side. There are going to be people in this college football world that are not going to be happy come April 30th. As Alabama fans, though I have no way of knowing this, I feel like we will be happy. Let's hit some comments. I actually ordered it last night, Moonrocka. Do not miss out on our transfer portal stream. That's all I'm going to tell you. Well, no, Moonrocka, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I will not be here for the transfer portal stream, though I have arranged for a guest to take my place. Okay? Really hard to get him. He has to traverse a long way to get here. But just know, he is never late, nor is he ever on time. He arrives precisely when he means to. Be on the lookout for that. DeBoer says we have some scholarships to give, so won't surprise me if Bama makes moves. You already have room on the team. And one other thing, Jeff, I would caution everybody in this. Do not be dissuaded nor surprised if come Tuesday, come Wednesday, come this players from Alabama hit the transfer portal. Whenever we talk the transfer portal, there's a simple truth that we all must realize. The transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh. And nobody is exempt from that. Nobody. I would remind you all of when Georgia lost in the SEC championship game. They had a bunch of players into the transfer portal. And there were some people out there being like, what's going on at Georgia? Oh my gosh, nothing's going on at Georgia, much like nothing's going on. This is the new era of college football. This is where we are. Yes, Ruben. 100%. We love seeing that. Shane, I have no idea what you're talking about with the Slavic women, but I'm going to leave that be. Right? I'm going to leave that be. Todd says, Ty, really like Josh Pate. Love Josh Pate, man. Josh Pate says it's going to get crazy. Oh, absolutely is. Absolutely is. 100% Ephraim. What Bama is about to do is going to be fun. Ooh, Williamson with a great question. Haney or Garcia? This is interesting because they're 3-3 against each other, right? So this is a super balanced fight. Here's the thing. I'm going to go out on a limb and pick Haney because I think Haney continues to evolve, where Ryan Garcia was God-given ability from birth. And so was Haney. But Haney, in my opinion, has continued to take steps in his evolution. And Ryan Garcia is still an unbelievable boxer, but I think he can get it done, man. I think he can get it done. Really excited for that fight, though. Really excited for that fight. The get back 100%, Megan, and it's get back season. Jared with the rabbit and the gun. I'm telling you, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Can't get transferred. That rule is, I don't agree with that rule, Todd. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I also wonder this, Todd. Given the current climate of college football, and this is something I want all the undefeated to participate in, right? Era? What's wrong with that? You don't like the way you pronounce era? Run, Ty, run away from the Slavic. Yeah, we're gonna leave that in the comments, right? Shane, I love you. We're gonna leave that in the comments, right? We're gonna leave that in the comments. Alabama is certainly going to be one of the halves. But Todd, here's my question, and here's my question for everybody in the undefeated. Everybody in the undefeated. I understand that the rule is the SEC transfers cannot transfer within conference, right? That's all well and good. But I also understand that the NCAA tried to get back to the one-time transfer rule. I also understand that the NCAA tried to get back to the one-time transfer rule. And a judge in West Virginia put a temporary injunction saying they couldn't do that it was a violation of the antitrust. Right? Well, I'm from Texas, Caleb. What do you want from me, man? What do you want from me? I'm from Texas, man. My parents are from upstate New York, and I'm in Texas. So I got an accent that's all over the place, right? Every now and then you'll hear the New York come out, like with on. You'll hear the New York come out, and then in other times you hear the Texas come out. I can't help it. I can't help it. This ain't Texas. Fair enough. Fair enough, Caleb. That's good. I like that. That rule is going to be interesting. And I just wonder, if a player wants to transfer in conference, who's to stop a judge in Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana being like, no, that's a violation of antitrust. SEC, you can't police that. Because that's exactly what happened from a West Virginia judge, and now it makes it to where you can transfer unlimited times. The NCAA literally bowed out of the fight. They said, nah, we don't want that smoke. We got way too much on our plate. O.J. Simpson passed away. Yeah, Adam passed away from cancer. Holloway versus Gaethje prediction. You know, when this first came out, Wyatt, I was so sure. I was like, man, I love Holloway, but I'm really worried Justin Gaethje hits like a truck. And it's because I always think back to what Justin Gaethje did to Tony Ferguson, and it's one of the hardest fights I've ever had to watch. I mean, you get into the later rounds of that fight, and I'm begging for Tony's corner to throw the towel because he's taking just huge hits, and Tony's too tough for his own good. But as time goes on, I think Max Holloway can get it done. I'm going Holloway. Am I confident in that? No, but I'm going Holloway. Are they allowed in conference in the spring portal? So no, right now, Jared, now Ephraim, thank you for this. Thank you for this. Grad transfer could transfer in conference. Thank you very much for that, Ephraim. I actually completely forgot about the grad transfer exception. Thank you very much for adding that in. Thank you very much for adding that in, because that does make a difference. But to answer Jared's question, currently they cannot. But like I'm discussing right now, I'm wondering what happens if a player that's not a grad transfer wants to transfer in conference. Like, what if they take it to a court? Oh, the Tyson one, David, that's tough just because Tyson's old, man. Like he's still so scary, but I I hate these exhibition boxing matches. I hate these exhibition boxing matches. It's just on what legal theory? Antitrust. The same way that the West Virginia judge was able to put the injunction in, Adam. Now, it might work a little bit differently because it's coming from the SEC. But I also wonder if I don't know. I'm just the rule doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I'm kind of just thinking out loud, right? But the only reason I bring up antitrust, Adam, is because that's what the West Virginia judge did. But I think I know where you're going to go in terms of a counter argument, and I think your counter argument holds like, or if you were to go with a counter argument, Adam, like, does it still qualify for the same antitrust exemptions or lack thereof exemptions, because it's the SEC saying it. So it's not like you're not free to transfer. This is more akin to like a non-competitive agreement, which is perfectly legal in industry, right? Like non-competitive agreements are perfectly legal in industry. I don't know. That's interesting. That's really interesting to think about, actually. I was kind of thinking like law brain. Here's what I always did for like my moot court arguments or even my presentation when I come here, guys. In my head, before I make a point, I think about all the points for, and then I actually try and take my argument down. So whenever I would do debate, whenever I would do moot court, I would make my argument and then I would eviscerate my argument. And I would be like, okay, how can I poke holes in it? And then I'd keep doing this until I came to something and I was like, there's the answer. I can't take this down. I don't know how to take this down. Like I think that's easy to argue out of, right? Or I lay traps in the argument, especially when I did debate or moot court. I would lay traps in the argument. That way, the opposing counsel would go up there and they'd be like, oh, they said this, this, and this. And it would give me an opportunity when I got back up there to do my rebuttal to just absolutely dunk on them, right? Because I laid a trap in the argument that I wanted you to argue what you argued. I wanted you to waste 3 to 5 minutes of your 9-minute argument on this little trap I placed for you. And now when I get up there, not only have you wasted a bunch of time, I'm going to dunk on you. I'm going to make you look like, I love this stuff. I love this stuff. I love the psychology of argumentation. It's so fun. Yeah, I thought that's where you would go, Adam. I thought that was where you would go. Because as I was sitting here thinking about it, I was like, well, that's exactly what I would argue, is that this is more akin to an NDA or not an NDA, but a non-competitive agreement, an NCA, as opposed to just like outright antitrust, because you're not saying they can't transfer. You're just saying that they can't transfer within, and that's very common. That's very common in industry. So Roll Tide, I saw this right here. I want to get back to this. So I have a few. Roll Tide. I've been hinting at a player that I have no way of knowing whether or not he will enter into the transfer portal. I have no information of whether he will or not. But I just know that when I was watching college football as a whole, there was a player in the Big Ten, not named Will Johnson, that really was standing out to me. You know what? Let me see if I can. I'm going to see. I'm trying to pull up these team sites, but these team sites are. I want to make sure it's the person I'm thinking about. Yep. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and say the name. And I'm going to say it. No, it's not. It's not anybody from Michigan. There's a defensive back out there that really caught my attention. I mean, every time I'd watch one of his games, it'd be like, man. That's a tough conversation, Lance, but we'll have it. Let me get through this right here. and then we'll have that conversation, Lance, because I've done some more digging, and yeah. There's a cornerback for Wisconsin, 5'10", 185 pounds, named Ricardo Hallman. Had 7 interceptions this year. Dude is a ball hawk. If he enters into the transfer portal, watch it. Now, why have I continued to allude to this guy? Because once again, Roll Tide, I'm not an insider. I'm a fanalist, right? I won't even call myself a college football analyst. I'm one of you. The only difference is I just have a microphone. That's it. Right? I just have a microphone. But the reason why Ricardo Hallman is interesting to me, because where did Coach Hitchler just come from? Wisconsin. Coach Hitchler just came from Wisconsin. Now, one thing I do know about Coach Colin Hitchler, everywhere he's been, they love him. Love him. Man was a top 15 recruiter at Wisconsin, responsible for 7 of their 21 or 23 prospects. I forget how many they took, but I know that he had his hand as either a primary or secondary recruiter for 7 of those guys. Top 15 recruiter in all of college football at Wisconsin. Now, the reason that's impressive is because you're not relegated to just one recruiter per team. You're not just relegated to one recruiter per team. Right? Let's say Alabama has 15 recruiters that are doing great. Maybe they all make 1 through 15. He's the same size as Jabbar Muhammad, Shane. We all wanted Jabbar. He's the exact same size as Jabbar Muhammad. I'll say this. He might be 5'10", but he plays huge. He plays huge. Go check out his highlights. If he enters the transfer portal, I'd be very curious as to whether or not they make a run at him. And the tie there, like I told you all yesterday, that this was a player that had ties. Hitchler is loved wherever he's at. When I went back and was reading what Cincinnati was writing about him, whenever he was at Cincinnati, whenever Cincinnati, was going to the college football playoffs. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Hitchler was that Cincinnati. He was coaching that Cincinnati secondary whenever Alabama played them in the playoffs. That secondary that our offense said, okay, you want to play us as you're a much smaller team in a 3-3-5? We're not going to throw the ball 100 times. Why would we? You're in a pass defense. We're just going to run it right down your throat. I understand everybody is always like, oh, that Cincinnati game was real close. To my football guys and gals out there, you'll know. You'll know. You'll know. He was there. He was there. Womack likes to run cover 3. You want length at cornerback for cover 3. You want people who can play. And this cat can play. Right? This cat can play. Listen, I understand in a perfect world, you get these rangy cornerbacks. You want cats that can play. He can play. Now, listen, I'm not saying that he's entering the transfer portal. That's not my contention here. I'm saying that every Wisconsin game I watched, he stood out like a sore thumb. And I would always in my notes be like, who the heck is this kid? Kid is playing with his hair on fire from Miami, Florida. Kid has got an eye for the ball. He has a 75-yard pick 6. Let me see if I can share this. Emmanuel Henderson. Oh, super excited. Super excited for Emmanuel Henderson. Let me see if I can't share this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can't do. Okay. All right. So that was one of his 7 interceptions. Watch this back. Oh, they're gonna play it back. It's a minute-long clip. Listen, this kid can play. Look at him understand the assignment right there. Do you see how that wide receiver, the one that he was initially covering, was running that slant, and he instantly dissected what the offense was doing, that slant was meant to make him take a few steps inside so that out route could just beat him on the outside. He didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for it. He dissected the play, made a play on the ball, 95-yard pick six. 95-yard pick six. Very talented. Very talented. He stood out, man. Like, every time I would watch him play, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be like, man, how did they get this kid? Very talented player. Now, he's not alone. And once again, I'm not saying that he's entering the transfer portal or that if he does enter the transfer portal, he comes to Bama. What I am saying is he stood out like a sore thumb every time I watched Wisconsin football. And yes, I watched a lot of Wisconsin football. I watched a lot of Big Ten football. And he has a tie to Alabama's defensive back, or specifically safety coach, but still someone who was a defensive back coach. Something to watch for. Something to watch for. I think he is a very talented player. Very, very talented player. Lance says 5'10". Nah. Hey, man. I get it, but if you can play, you can play. All right. If you can play, you can play. And I understand. It's one of those things where if you can get a long, rangy cornerback, you get a long, rangy cornerback. I completely agree. I don't disagree with that at all. But we all, as Alabama fans, were wanting Jabbar Muhammad. He's 5'10", 183. This kid's 5'10", 185. So, any sign that he's going to enter the portal? None, Ruben, none. Like I said, this is just a player that I've been saying, like, hey, if he does enter the portal, I'd be really interested if Bama makes a run at him. And the only reason why I've wondered, would he enter the portal, is just because of the connection to Hitchler. But no, this is just me, like, talking about players that's like, oh, man, if this guy enters, it's like, watch out. Very, very talented. Very, very talented. Rolled out a bunch of overweight guys who couldn't move, could not have been in shape, and a center who could. Yeah. I saw a question earlier I want to try and find. Okay, Lance asking about the Tybo Rogers situation. So from my understanding of the situation, first and foremost, Lance, situations like that, awful as they are, and we hope all the best to all the victims involved in that, first and foremost, before we go any further. We hope all the best to all of the victims in that they get justice. One, there's a Title IX office that this goes to. Two, the University of Washington has a specific office that handles all that, and they make the decisions. And so at the point where, there was inaction that came, from my understanding, because of a lack of evidence, a lack of all of these things, and their investigations really heightened come January or February, and that's when they were able to garner a bunch of evidence. But at that point, Coach Kalen DeBoer was already gone. So it's a terrible situation, but it's not as simple as a lot of these Twitter lawyers out there will have you believe, right? People that are just like, oh, it's and there's a bureaucratic process, no doubt about it, Adam. And that right there takes time. So it's an unfortunate situation, but one that I will continue to monitor. I will continue to try and get some information on. But as of right now, it just seems like there were multiple other entities that was their responsibility, as opposed to it being, the coaching staff. There's offices at the University of Washington for something like that. So, something to watch. Scott Drew turned down the Kentucky job. You know how funny that would be if Bruce Pearl gets that job? Oh my gosh, that's going to be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Let's hit some comments. Yeah, no doubt about it. Offensive line has been in the thorn in the side. Now, for those of you that have watched my segments, for those of you that know me, I've been talking about this for a while. Over the past 3 years, Alabama has averaged. Alabama has averaged the 99th offensive line in the nation in terms of sacks allowed. That's not good enough. First and foremost, that's not good enough at Kansas State. That's not good enough at Kansas State, having the 99th offensive line. It's certainly not good enough at Alabama. It's not good enough. The talent is there, right? J.C. Latham, very talented. Evan Neal, very talented. But starting with Doug Marrone, there was a noticeable decline in offensive line play. I thought Coach Walford would be able to really help the situation. It looked as though he would year one. And then year two was a disaster. I do eat Brahms, Mike Jones. Brahms is amazing. Yeah. You go to Brahms, you get that jalapeno burger, right? And then they say, hey, for 50 cents, you can sub out your soda or drink for a milkshake. Well, listen, I aim to please. So we sub out that soda for a chocolate malt. Get you that jalapeno burger with fries and a chocolate malt. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Go get you some Brahms, ladies and gentlemen. Go get you some Brahms. Milrow haters get the... I'm very excited for Milrow, no doubt about it. Yeah, Adam, 100%. And I mean, there are even people, I've seen people on Twitter who will have clips and they're like, oh, Milrow missed this throw. But in the clip, what they're ignoring is that there's a Michigan defender right in his face or right in the throwing lane. And so while there might be open wide receivers, is your throwing lane open? The answer was no. I mean, he was getting bum rushed. Doug Marrone was pitiful. Yes, that was wow. Wow. I did see something about Mbakwe. Mbakwe is impressing. Mbakwe is impressing. In the background, poetic, I've been told Mbakwe is turning heads. The thing is, though, is like we've always said with Mbakwe, he played so many different positions. Now it's just in a situation where he's learning one position. And so he's just transitioning. He's just transitioning. Do you think we get him? I do, Mike Bentley. I do think we get Latsier Brooks. What's up, Eric? Happy you're in here. Any recruiting intel? So I would imagine exiting this weekend, Hunter, Alabama exits with, at the very least, silent commitments. Who that is, what that looks like, I'm not 100% sure. But I would be shocked if you're not exiting with silent commitments. I would bet that there is people pull the trigger. And here's why I also say that, Hunter. Ooh, Millville, Adam. Millville High School. So here's also why I say that, Hunter. Because with the transfer portal opening up, you want to make sure that if you're one of these high school kids, that you don't get recruited over. Commit early. You know what I mean? We haven't figured out the exact time, goofball. I'm going to get with him. I'm going to get with Kyle. I'm going to get with the guys, and we'll put something together. We will certainly advertise that. But remember, I'm not going to be here, unfortunately. I'm not going to be here. We're going to have a special guest in my place that I've managed to reach out to through back channel. Don't ask me how I got a hold of him, right? That's neither here nor there. But I got him. That's all that matters. You all are going to be in for a treat. That's what I will say. You're going to be in for a treat. The 20 offensive line was terrific. Since then, trash. It's unexcusable, man. Like, the way I look at it is when I was doing that video, Hacker, where I was like, okay, Alabama's offensive line was just so inconsistent this year. What did it look like last year? And I was like, it was not great. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. And then the first year with Doug Marrone, it was terrible. So I averaged it out, and it was the 99th offensive line through 3 years. And I'm sitting here just like bashing my head against the desk. And I'm like, how at Alabama do you have the 99th ranked offensive line averaged through 3 years in terms of sacks allowed? How is that possible? That crap would not be acceptable at Kansas State. That crap wouldn't fly at Arkansas. Right? Like, people would be mad at Kansas State. And this is not a shot at any of these programs. I must admit, I do like what Kansas State is doing. I must admit, I've been a fan. Y'all know me. I'm a college football nerd, so I'm watching all college football. Also because I host a college football pick'em show. Right? So I have to keep up with all college football teams. I have to keep up with all college football teams. I have to be versed in their play, in what they're doing. But Alabama isn't Kansas State. Alabama's not Arkansas. Alabama's not A&M. No, Josh Pate's not filling in, guys. No. No. That's not. I wish, but no. Now, what we might do is I might try and get Josh Pate to come on for a segment. I might be able to see if I can get him to maybe come on for a podcast. I might be able to get him on for a segment, whether here or on my channel, but we'll keep along with that, right? I'm already working to get Hayes Fawcett on a segment. He's expressed interest. Great guy. I really like Hayes. Great guy. But no, it's not Josh Pate. So I just wanted to quell that. Yeah, I could see what I could do, Paul. I could see what I could do. Josh likes talking ball. Do I think Juju flips this weekend? He could. Do we have a list of A-Day visitors? I do not have a complete list, Mike. I will be sure to have a list tomorrow. That way we can talk about that. But in terms of like recruiting, I do think we will be able to get at the very least silence this weekend. Number 1 wide receiver out of Alabama, Dylan Alfred, committed to Ole Miss. Is he the one that's at Saraland? And if so, I don't know that Alabama is pushing, and I don't know why, but I just, I don't know that Alabama was like pushing on that. I'm not saying they weren't, but I've heard conflicting things. Patriot Life, my man. Shout out, Ty. Shout out at lunch. What's up, Ty and the undefeated? Happy you're here, Patriot Life. Always good to see you, my man. Always good to see you. I agree with you. Shane. Listen, I roll the same way. I 100% agree with you. But that's the nature of recruiting right now. That's the nature in recruiting right now. Mr. Rinrico says, I'm in T-Town for A-Day right now. That's awesome, man. Jeff Horan says, y'all are going to be disappointed in an A-Day game if you're expecting lots of fireworks from the offense. It will be vanilla and watered down. I don't think they will show very much. Oh, we agree. We've said much the same here. It's just going to be about implementing new schemes. How quickly are you adjusting? Do they look comfortable? But it's not going to be like DeBoer is showing his entire hand, right? It seems like this week has been so slow. It's just because it's like that with any big event. You know what I mean? It's like the pressure building before the pipes burst. Yeah, Antoine, I agree. We're not expecting to see a bunch of stuff like that. It's going to be, we'll have some stuff to watch for, but it's not going to be just like some crazy game. Matty P says, good morning, Ty. Along with my fellow dudes and dudettes, the undefeated, I hope everyone is having a wonderful week and staying dry, especially if you're in the Huntsville area. Yeah, it's been wild weather even here in Texas. It's been wild weather even here in Texas. The other night, we got a hellacious storm. I got this big dog who is absolutely terrified of storms. So anytime it's storming, she's got to try and hop up in bed with us because she wants to be safe. Big baby. Any chance, Ty, did you get a chance to check out any old film of Dave Womack defenses at Southern Miss? I haven't yet, Antoine. Though, let me see. What year, Antoine? Oh no, I don't have any Southern Miss all 22. Unfortunately. At least not when he was there. I have all 22. I've got all 22 folders from a lot of places. But I don't have any from 2017 to 2000 of Southern Miss. Unfortunate. 99 to 2000. Yeah, I'll have to go back and find the games. My all 22 doesn't go back that far. I don't know where Smook is, Caleb. I don't know where Smook is, but we're just going to keep rocking and rolling, doing our thing. Darius says, why do the Bama media get so emotional when... Oh, I think it's awesome to hear that everybody's developing, man. That's what we want as football fans for all of these guys. Yeah, I think everybody's happy to hear that these guys are doing well. It was legit in the 90s, yeah. 2000 game. Let me write that down. So I told y'all, like, I did that show for Bleacher Report. All right? I told y'all I did that show for Bleacher Report, so I had to have a bunch of college football film and watch it. Y'all want to see how much... Jeez, y'all want to see how much film I have? It's actually insane. Am I a Cowboys fan? I'm not. I'm not a Cowboys fan, Ephraim. The reason I'm not a Cowboys fan is just like... I have no ties. Like, I was born in Texas, sure. I've lived here. Good state. No complaints about it. Other than it being hot. That's that's my complaint. Don't like the heat. But I had no ties to the state of Texas, so I wasn't like a Cowboys fan. Patriot Life with the 5 gifted Bama football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson memberships. My man, Patriot Life, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the continued support. You are awesome, my man. Happy you're in here with us. Happy you're rocking with us. And good to see you as always. Coach Smook entered the chat. Hell yeah. Here, I'm going to show you all this right here. So when I, listen, I'm no expert, but let me make sure it's all okay. So when I say like I'm out here usually watching film and stuff, This is my all 22 drive. So what you see here is all these teams. I have it segmented from offense, defense, right? And this is my all 22 vault. So we got, into teams: Pittsburgh, Florida State, LSU, and then we keep going. USF, ULM, Tulsa, Memphis, Baylor, Army, Rutgers. And then that's where it ends. And then I have just a bunch of games that I haven't put into folders yet. But this is what I say when it's like an unhealthy obsession. This is what I mean when I say I have an unhealthy obsession with college football. That's my all 22 vault. That's not my game film vault, right? Because I have every college football game that was played recorded this past season. Any Division I game I have recorded. That's just my all 22 vault. And it's beautiful. It makes me happy every time I look at it. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Watching all 22 is just, I didn't realize how big of a difference there would be until some former players put me on and they were like, "Nah, that's what is happening?" Darius, a USC fan today? Yeah, it's on ESPN. It's on ESPN. Hey. That's awesome. Yeah, so Kyle is saying Patriot, and he'll have more details, that there's going to be gathering, there's going to be people people meeting up, doing all that good stuff. %. 100% Mike Jones. It's okay, Darius. It's okay, my man. All that yelling's going to get your blood pressure high. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's zen over here. You know what I mean? We're zen. We're zen in here. Bama again. Hey, it's going to be a great game this year. It's going to be a great game. Really excited for that one. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs. I know that they're meeting at Coach Saban's statue. I'm not sure which time. Patriot Life, unfortunately, I will not be there. All right, unfortunately, I will not be there. I think Saban will absolutely. I don't know if he'll be watching from his office, but he'll certainly be watching. I don't know, Adam. I don't know. Right, I haven't seen enough from both of them at the college level. This is an interesting one. So we were talking about the wide receiver earlier, and I know on his Instagram he put something to the effect of 3 days. So maybe Brooks, the wide receiver from New Jersey, maybe him. That could be one. I don't know what that time was for, but maybe he wants to pull the trigger early and commit. That way his spot in the class is there. Because like I said earlier, when someone asked if I think Alabama will exit the weekend with commitments, at the very least, I think silence. Saban speaking at 8A. Okay, then yes, other than that, he'll definitely be there. Alabama will exit with at least silence because they're going to want to secure their spot in the class, especially before the portal comes around. Not that the portal will have like any adverse reaction on Alabama recruiting, but you get my point. All good, coach. Hold, take your time, man. We're here. We're out here having fun. You get home safe, man. Take your time. We're good. I'll have everything prepped and ready for you, my man. That wide receiver from New Jersey is not a 3-star. He reminds me of Ruggs. Yeah, Darwin or Devin. Jeez. I apologize, man. I'm loopy at this point. I did not sleep but for 1 hour last night, and it is catching up with me. My goodness. My goodness. Davin Jones says that wide receiver from New Jersey is not a 3-star. He reminds me of Ruggs. He is a monster. Has the fastest recorded time in all of high school football in terms of game speed, having hit 22 miles per hour. And there's also clips of him just absolutely going up and mossing people. Good morning, Deborah. Happy you're in here with us on this Thursday. Hey, my people in New York would say otherwise. Though I must admit, Adam, I've never had New Jersey pizza, so I can't in good conscience say that. But what I can say is this. One of my favorite things in the world is when I go visit my family on the East Coast. I take the train from Richmond, Virginia, all the way up to New York. And my favorite thing is coming up from the New York subways right into the streets of New York City and finding the first pizza joint. And you know the pizza joints you need to eat at. You know what I mean? You know the pizza joints. You can tell. It's when mom and dad don't speak a lick of English, but their son or daughter is up there and they're working and they have to take the order because mom and dad are speaking full Italian back there. Small shops. They're usually not big. They're usually on the corner. And they do pizza, calzones, and that's it. That's what you're getting. And it is unbelievable. I'll get a bunch of the pizza, calzones, all that, and then hop on the train from New York City all the way to Albany. And then I get off the train at Albany, and that's when my family will usually come and pick me up in Albany. But I always, if I'm taking that train from Richmond to New York, I make it known like, hey, I might spend a day in New York City by myself, just doing me. I love New York City. It is, the wide receiver's name is Lotzier Brooks. 2025 wide receiver, 5'10", 185 pounds. Unbelievable speed. As Davin says right here, he's going full speed in his first 3 steps. Incredible get off. And Davin, when I first came on and we were talking with Kyle, I was talking about how wide receivers win through different phases of the route, right? Like we can think back to a Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy's got speed. That's not the question here. That's not the issue. But Jerry Jeudy's releases were so good. He would break a cornerback's ankles off the line of scrimmage. Like his releases were so good that he would break you down and he would win in the early stages of the route off of his releases. And then you add in his speed, his footwork, his route running on top of that, and he was a nightmare to cover. An absolute nightmare to cover. Well, this kid, Lotzier Brooks, not only is his acceleration stupid fast, but sometimes, and Davin, I'm sure you'll relate to this, sometimes we see kids who they hit top speed within 3 to 4 steps. And it's not that they're the fastest guy on the field. It's just that they have the fastest acceleration on the field. Think back to Manziel. When Manziel was at A&M, it's not that Manziel was the fastest cat on the football field. He had crazy acceleration where he could get up to top speed so quickly, which made him get separation from defenders, especially if he like made a little move, because then he just zoop right up to top speed. Brooks is one of the rare instances where not only does he have rare acceleration, he's got rare type end speed or top end speed. So you can't catch him off the rip, but you're not catching him even in a foot race. Yeah, they do, hacker. So for instance, the Oklahoma Sooners quarterback, Todd, thank you for hanging out with us today, my man. Thank you for hanging out with us. Have a good day. The Oklahoma Sooners quarterback, or the guy that, presumably will take it this year, Jackson Arnold. He's a bigger kid. But I remember when he was at Denton Guyer, they tracked him at 21.7 miles per hour. He's a dual threat guy. How much they use him like that, I don't know, but he's not slow. I think he was 6'2", 220 and hit 21 miles per hour. And I was at the game. I was sitting up there and I was like, good gosh. Yeah, that's the thing with 40s, y'all. Is like a 40 is cool. A 40 is nice. Game speed is different. Yeah, Eric, we saw that this morning. That's, never want to hear anything like that. Let me get all this situated right quick, ladies and gentlemen. Need to send the link, and I don't know that my computer remembers my Slack information. This is an abject travesty. All right, here we go. But that Lotzier Brooks, watch the name. Watch the name. He's going to be a very talented prospect, and I think Alabama gets that win. We used a sundial. I used to tease my dad all the time, Hacker. I'd be like, hey, how was it whenever you were sitting in your third grade classroom and they invented the wheel? And he'd look at me and he'd go, life-changing. I always used to give him a hard time about that. Old gruff cowboy. Manziel was wild. I have been to New York City once, and I was doing training in Pennsylvania. Once was enough. I just wanted to see so Patriot life. It's one thing going around to all the touristy areas in New York City, but like when I go to New York City, I go with my family. So we go to Rutgers Park. We watch the basketball. Like I go to New York City. I love New York City. If I could get a position in New York City, I would jump at the opportunity. I love New York. I love New York. Well, hello there, good sir.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, just watching some dude drive a car right now. What's going on with you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Man, today was a day.
Today was a day. I saw you up there.
Yeah, man. It was an awesome experience. A lot of the chat probably don't know. It was like a spur of the moment thing. It was an honor to be called. And so today, for those that were wondering about how Jace McClellan road to the draft was going, today he had a private pro day. There was I think there was 20, 21 or 24 teams represented. And he really had a great workout, y'all. I mean,
and you know how high I am on Jace.
Yes, man. I think a lot of the fan base that really understands what he was going through. The young man played just this past season. He played from the Tennessee game to the rest of the season with a broken foot. At one point, he had a cracked rib. I mean, just so many different injuries, and you could never tell by his performance. And a lot of those games where we wondered why, he didn't keep getting the ball. It was coaches looking out for him, quote unquote, looking out for him. And today, that same determination that he showed on the field, I was like real proud. I felt like a big brother out there watching my little brother go to work. He's very laid back and chill, not big on social media and the cameras and all that stuff. But it was definitely a good thing to see him go out there and put on a show. Got to see a lot of the staff today. Coach G was out there, Coach Shep. Kicked it a little bit with Courtney Morgan. I mean, there was a lot of staff. The Cardinals and the Broncos were two teams that were really just like eagle eye, hawk eye over him, like just watching everything. He looks strong. He's been mostly rehabbing for the most part to get ready for this pro day, and that's a hot thing for him, you know. And I mean, all the doubt kind of flew out the window with his vertical jump. And I think that the number was, I think the target number was like 32, 33 for him. But I think he ended up jumping like a 36 vert. 36 vert. And I mean, just solid numbers for him to be still working through that injury and doing what he's doing. I think it's an awesome thing for Jace. I'm real happy for him.
Yeah, Jace is one of those guys I've often said, first and foremost, he's a warrior. And I've always said this. I always am going to be a little bit biased towards the guys that come from Texas. I've watched Jace since he was at Aledo, and that was back when he and JoJo Earl were at Aledo. And ladies and gentlemen, y'all remember those and one mixtapes that they would do in basketball? That's what it looked like on a football field with him and JoJo Earl at Aledo. They were making people that were playing Division I football the next year look stupid.
Yeah, as 10th graders. It
was ridiculous. I did not miss an Aledo game when they were there because they made people look silly. Just absolutely like they didn't belong on a football field. And then those cats that they would make look like that would go on and play college football. And you're like, how good are they? Well, we know the answer. They're exceptional.
Exactly. And I think Jace really did a lot of positives for his draft stock. You talk to the experts, not many of them are putting him in the top three rounds. But I think he understands the mission and he understands what he's up against when it comes to that. And a back like Jace, you get on the roster, man, and that's all it's going to take. You get one roster spot, and that's all it's going to take. And listening to Coach Gillespie encourage him today was very confident. It was very reassuring to see that, see the coaches still show up for their guys. I actually got to talk to Coach G beforehand, and he was just, saying how he just wanted to be there for him and show him that, try to keep him from getting in his own space. Jace he's very strict on himself. He's his biggest critic, and he wants everything to be perfect. And the thing is, I know a lot of those guys, those representatives from the league, they were more concerned about his health, and they saw that he is not, gimped. I think the unofficial time that I had and that one of the other evaluators had for his 40 time, which a lot of you are probably wondering, was a 4:49. That was the fastest unofficial time. And like I said, the young man's still rehabbing. He's still rehabbing. He hasn't been fully cleared, not necessarily fully clear, but he's not 100%. So I'm excited. That goes to show you the grit and toughness of just Bama built players. You look at Kool-Aid, similar situation where, he goes and does the combine. And I think he ran a 4.49, 4.50, something like that for his 40 at the pro day. And then hasn't even had the operation on his foot yet. So it just goes to show you how much this means to these guys. When you really look at your dream, it's right there in hand's reach. You're not going to stop. Nothing's going to stop you from reaching it. But I'm going to jump off here real quick, Ty. I'm going to run inside, set up, and I should be on in like 3 minutes, bro, so we can get off this weird angle.
All good, man. Sounds
All
good.
Right, brother.
That was the Smook driving cam, ladies and gentlemen, and what a cam it was. What a cam it was. Talking about Jace McClellan, I'd like to give in my input here. Smook has heard it. For a lot of you that maybe watch my channel, you'll probably have heard it. I think Jace is one of those players that we're going to look at as a potential steal of the draft, right? Every year there are certain players that maybe due to injury will slide. maybe due to position, will slide. I think we're going to be looking at Jace McClellan after his rookie year, and we're going to be saying, man, some team committed highway robbery getting him in the round they got him in. I think he's as complete of a running back as you would like to have. He can do any facet of the game for you, and that is going to stand out to NFL teams. I think Jace is one of those guys who is going to be so compelling for the NFL teams because his scheme fit is fluid. I can think of very few teams where his ability wouldn't be an asset, and maybe none. Maybe none. He can play in so many different schemes in the NFL. He can play and succeed in so many different offenses in the NFL because Jace is an incredibly well-rounded running back. And on top of that, on top of his physical traits, we talk about what he brings to the table in terms of his mental traits. And he's an absolute warrior. Jace McClellan is an absolute warrior. It's something that I've always talked about on my channel. He has battled through injury time and time again. And he's one of those guys where, as a coach, I really like what Coach Smook said, where when it was like, oh, why didn't I get some of these carries? Jace is one of those guys where he's going to put on for his until he can't move anymore. So sometimes a guy like Jace, sometimes a guy like that has no quit in them. I'm sure Jace has I'm going to pull out the big one, a superfluous vocabulary. But I can tell you this, one word Jace McClellan does not know is quit. That's not a part of his vocabulary. Sometimes as a coach, you got to protect your guys from themselves. Because these guys, some of these guys are warriors. Most of these guys are warriors. That's what Nick Saban wanted. That's what these top college football programs, they go after. It's not just the physical traits. How are you up here? Jace is a warrior. Sometimes for those guys, you got to save them from themselves because they're going to look out on that field and see their brothers out there battling, and he could have a broken leg. And Jace is going to try and get back on that football field to battle with his brothers. He doesn't know the definition of quit. Jace is one of my favorite backs to play at Bama. Like I said, I've watched him since Alito. I remember whenever it was Bama or OU, and I remember sitting there saying, please, 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 please. Please, Bama. Please, Bama. And he committed to Bama, and I was over the moon. Fred Turner with the $4 super sticker. Thank you so much for the support, Fred. Thank you so much for the support. Courtney Morgan just tweeted out, big link. Hey, like I said, I don't know who it could be, but it is interesting to note that Lotzier Brooks posted a countdown on his Instagram. Now, what that countdown could be in relation to, I don't know. But it comes on the heels of Steve Wiltfong putting in a prediction for him at Bama. And if I'm not mistaken, that countdown would place the timer would go off during A-Day or right after A-Day, if I'm not mistaken. Interesting to note. Interesting to note. Any team that drafts Jace will be lucky. A true team player and a warrior. Couldn't have said it better myself, goofball. Couldn't have said it better. Any team that gets Jace will look up after that first practice sequence and say, how did we get him in this round? I'm telling you, Jace is going to be a prospect we look at and say that team committed highway robbery getting him in that round. How? There's going to be a lot of GMs out there kicking themselves that they didn't take Jace. Very excited for his NFL future. Ronnie says he runs behind his pads well. Got great footwork and can read the hole well too. He's such a complete back. And that's why I say you can't just think of schemes that he won't fit in the NFL. Jace is one of those guys that he fits in everywhere because he's so well-rounded. Well, who are you?
What's good, man?
How'd you get in here?
Hey man, once I get back on the field, once I get back in the stadium, I got certain keys and access.
Yeah. Okay. I've already let the people know, Coach. I have officially
You got it in the mail?
got our guest lined up. Well, no, it's nothing coming. He doesn't come by mail.
That. Oh, yeah.
Right.
The super guest. Okay.
The super guest that will be here during the portal stream. Like I told everybody, the only hint you get is he is neither early nor late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Hey, it almost sounds like Jesus.
Oh, not that cool. That would be something, though.
Imagine if we had, what if we had Jesus pop up on it? Like Bama Jesus? Who would Bama Jesus be, bro? Like if we had to pick a player from all-time Bama history, who would Bama Jesus be?
I'll tell you what, you put some long hair on Saban.
A nice little beard.
Long, luscious locks.
Nice little goatee.
Where's our resident Auburn fan, Danny? Danny, donate your hair to Saban.
Oh, yeah. And is that the same one with the hat? They was on that hat yesterday, man.
I don't know. He's got that. No, Coach, I don't know if you saw 12 minutes ago. Courtney Morgan tweeted out big link.
Big link. Yep.
What are we watching for here, Coach?
I'm not telling. I can't tell you. I can't. I really can't. Can't.
Could it possibly be from the northeast coast?
I will text you, but I can't, because if these eyes and ears could talk, they would have told it already. That's all I'm gonna say.
Love it.
That's all I'm
People
gonna say.
saying no, it's Tua. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not Blaze. It's not Blaze, Tony. Blaze is at a military academy getting some act right.
I thought it was a concentration camp or something like that.
No. He's getting some act right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hacker Music. I saw this. I saw somebody posted this picture, and somebody posted that picture of Wayne Johnson, and they was like, Coach Saban in retirement because he had the long hair. They like he letting his hair down. I was like, yeah, it does look like Saban. Look, Tony talking about some. Come on, man. I can't, bro.
Do you think it's good to have Roll Tide Willie at practice? Saban would never allow it. If the team is having fun, then it's spring, man. It's spring.
I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself today because I'm in such high spirits.
Yeah, Ron, I get it. It's a total delineation, but it's not like Roll Tide Willie's out there every day. You know what I mean? Like he came out there once, twice. Team had some fun. I look at it very much akin, Ronald, to whenever you see like Texas or USC with Travis Scott out there. It's like, it is what it is. It's just they're having fun. It's the springtime. It's the new age of college football. I wouldn't read too much into it. I wouldn't read anything into it. Anything to add on to that, Coach?
I was texting you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm. We're getting together for this guest as to how best to allow him. That way he doesn't hex us all.
So I'm gonna talk so you can read the three.
Go for it.
Yeah. So y'all, today was awesome. Thank y'all for hanging out with Ty. I didn't know how long the pro day was gonna last. Like I said, it was a last minute thing. Boss lady didn't even they've been busy too, trying to get everything situated. So it was kind of we played it by ear, and it's paying off, guys. It's paying off. Appreciate everybody for jumping in the chat, man. Megan, I see you. Who else?
You're gonna like what I just sent you, by the way.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn my brightness up on the screen because fan base has to break away from. Oh yeah. David, please say that louder. Can you put that in all caps? My boy David says us as a, and I'm gonna say it properly, but he said it the Bama way. us as a fan base have to break away from the old school mindset. This is a new era of Bama football. This is, you know what, David, this is a testament to what I was speaking on the other day, and more so in that sense. There is a new era of football that people are going to have to adapt to. The pro style QB is getting phased out, right? You see more kids being thrown into developmental sessions and under developmental coaches, especially at the quarterback position. And they're getting taught so much unorthodox things that catered not necessarily to, you remember back in the day, it was 7 ways to throw the ball, like maybe 5. You know, you had to be able to release over top. You had to have the elbow tuck. If you threw a sidearm, you was not a quarterback. You go into receiver or you go into running back or DB. We don't care. You throw that little sidearm. Now, that is something that's gleaned upon. That is something that's marveled about. Like, look at his release. He could change his release point. He's accurate for multiple. And that's something that a lot of older people, a lot of old heads that have been watching the game for a long time, they don't understand it. I'm the same way with basketball. It took me 3 or 4 years to get used to power forwards and centers taking 5, 6 threes a game. Like, that made no sense to me.
Great analogy.
You get what I'm saying? Like, for
Great
me,
analogy.
and I told y'all how much I love basketball. I'm a 90s kid. I came up in the golden era of basketball, in my opinion, when you know, it went from Michael Jordan to Kobe, Vince, and Allen, and Steve Francis, and who else? Shaq was in that era. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird were phasing out. Nick Van Exel and the Lakers, they struggled early in my young days, you know, as a fan. And then when Eddie Jones and those guys started coming through, Glenn Rice, that golden era of basketball was like the staple, monumental point, because it was a culture change in basketball too. And if you look at a lot of traditionalists that were watching my era of basketball, they didn't take to it very well. They didn't like it. They didn't like the fact that people were throwing alley-oops and dunks were being like 3-pointers. Like, that was a pet peeve. The power game inside was a pet peeve for some, you know? And so it's just all about your mindset, where you are, you know? But yeah.
I love that analogy because it's so accurate, Coach, the way it applies, right? You look at the changing of the game in basketball compared to quarterbacks, and now, dare I say, it's almost wanted if you have a quarterback that also plays some baseball. Why is that? Because you unlock all these different arm angles. These kids are proficient all over in terms of throwing the football. They can throw from here. I mean, it doesn't matter. Someone in chat said Bryce Young. This is what I always talk about when I say Bryce Young was an absolute magician. Absolute magician. You know what
is funny to me? Like, so many people doubted Bryce Young because of his size before. I want to say he was probably 3 games into the season when we finally was like, okay. Well, not we, but a lot of fans, right? A lot of people were doubting his size. A lot of people didn't think he'd be able to last in the SEC. The young man didn't miss his first game until his second year as a starter. And that wasn't even like a hard hit. You know, that was just a luck of the draw fall. You know, like, he's trying to get rid of the ball and falls on his rotator, his shoulder, and it forces his AC joint to be sprained. Like, that's something that, you know, after all the passes and you know, all the hits he had taken, that was like a freak accident.
Respect, yeah. Big Orange Vol.
Yeah.
Respect. Big Orange Vol saying, I can't root for Alabama because I was born and raised in Tennessee. Hey, I get it. But he said, I will respect the hell out of y'all my whole life. Respect.
Boy, you lucky Coach Sean ain't here, because he wouldn't even read the rest of that statement. He would have seen Tennessee and he would have went crazy. But respect, Big Orange. Respect. You have my respect. And I've seen your comments earlier, right? I've seen some of your comments. You actually talk football. Unlike my favorite fan that I love so much to come in this chat and just, you know, throw crap on the wall and hopes it sticks. My boy Darius Fountain. I think Darius is like 13 though, man. He's a little young buck. I think he in alternative school. That's why he be on our show all the time.
I will say this, talking ball about Tennessee. I am interested, Big Orange Vol, about this other message won't send. Maybe it just sent, Coach. I've been trying to send one message in particular forever. But talking about Tennessee, Big Orange Vol, I am really interested and excited even about Heupel and his veer and shoot offense, and especially how that works with Nicholas Iamaleava. Listen, Coach knows that was my favorite quarterback out of that class was Nicholas Iamaleava, right? And in that veer and shoot offense, it can get nasty now. It can get nasty if you don't know how to defend that type of offense. And Heupel's is kind of an offshoot of the veer and shoot, but really fun to watch, really fun to break down.
Man, listen. So I'm telling y'all, I think hopefully we don't catch Nico when he figures that out. When he figures that offense out. But you know what? At the same time, our defensive line is going to like wreak havoc this year, man.
Yeah.
The depth there, and I'm hearing that there may be a target in the portal. You know, there may be a target in the portal that we go after to kind of shore up the defensive end room. We got a lot of tackles, interior defensive linemen. We're not as deep at the defensive end, not edge rushers, but true defensive ends, your big ends. We're not as deep as some may think, but you have a lot of guys that could flex out there. You know, you got the likes of Tim Smith, he could slide out there, Curtis Perry, Jordan Renard, Edric Houston. I keep forgetting the young man's name, and I am going to slap myself if I do it again. Number 33. It's not Jeremiah Beeman. Guys, come on. Yeah, I do it every time.
Is it
Hunter Osborne. Yes. I don't know. You know what it is? It's because when I hear Hunter Osborne, I'm thinking like Ozzy Osbourne, right? And
you're thinking Crazy Train, Black Sabbath.
Yes, man. Like Osborne just throws me off. So like I don't think to put that with a football player. So it's funny. I got one message, Ty. I don't know if he was trying to send.
Yeah, I've been trying to send a GIF forever, and for whatever reason, my phone is just like, nah, it's not.
You got AT&T?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they was having server issues again today.
So I'm gonna send it to you over Twitter.
Yeah. Now Twitter might start buzzing a little bit later, because now that I've seen Courtney Morgan post that, snap. T8. All right, I gotta get on it now.
Well, while we're here, how about, for those of you that didn't see it, ladies and gentlemen, an interesting little tidbit came out. A Michigan podcast, and I must be excused, I'm not sure which one, but it is a podcast I've seen a lot of, right? I've seen a lot of these guys talking ball. They were very candid the other day, talking Michigan football. I mean, they were having a real kind of come to Jesus moment, being like, hey, there's not a lot of separation at quarterback right now. We don't really know who's going to take it over, but something else they said caught our attention. Coach Smook ended up tweeting it out. And JT, you beat me to the punch. You had some Michigan people saying, hey, you've told these people this is what they're going to make. Pay. You have podcast hosts, and that sounds reductionist. You guys know what I mean. I don't mean to say like, oh, they're just a pod. We're content creators. They're content creators. There's that darn Apple thing. Okay, there we go. But you had the Michigan people saying, hey, you guys said that we were going to get all this money in NIL. And even Michigan content creators are saying it's not happening and it's time to pay up. You said you'd pay, now pay. Certainly something to watch. A few days before the transfer portal. Y'all like the watch? Okay.
Hey, Ty, and it's funny the timing of this. You remember this rumor was out probably like 11, 12 days ago. I remember I remember a certain troll account putting this information out and saying that there was 1 or 2 Michigan players who were threatening to go public about, families not receiving whatever they were supposed to receive. And but there is one target that I know for a fact. If Will Johnson leaves Michigan, there's only one destination for Will Johnson. He is not playing around in the portal. He is not chasing a bag. He is not. Yes, sir. And it's, I mean, the quarter zip has been looking pretty nice on me. I don't know if y'all seen the picture I had.
That quarter zip is clean. Freeze frame got me again. But that quarter zip is clean.
I mean, it's a let me see. It's a Columbia. It's a Colombiana. Folks just call it Columbia. I'm from Phoenix City. We call this Colombiana. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should have came up here last week. Academy had them on. They had everything marked down. 60% off, 30% off, 50% off. Everything was marked down.
That's clean.
Darius Fountain. Hey, can I have a moment with my favorite fan? Hey, Darius, I found out who you were, my guy, and I appreciate you, man. I'm praying for you. Hope your time in alternative school is over with soon. We need you back in the classroom so that you can make it to the sideline, like you just keep on telling us about this fake sideline pass that you keep making up about being on the sideline for Bama and Georgia. I would love to help you get to a place where your closet fandom for Alabama is just out there. We will accept you. There is nothing bad about being an Alabama fan. As a matter of fact, it's actually a lot more fun being an Alabama fan, because for the last 16 years, we've been the standard. We've been the standard. And even now in transition, we are still winners. We still have a higher ranked recruiting class than you all. Being whichever fan you are, I think we beat USC in recent years. We haven't played Colorado, but I'm pretty sure if we had to play them, I don't know who you're a fan of anymore these days, but yeah. God bless you, man. I appreciate you for showing up, man. I love you. I love you, Darius. And hopefully you can figure out who you're going to be a fan of this year before, the spring season ends.
I had to let you have the moment,
I mean, I'm on a positive vibe. I can't even, I don't know, man. Darius, we want the best for you here at Bama Football on YouTube. Like Coach Sean said, it's almost concerning at where your fandom is. Like, you're just all over the place. You're West Coast, Mid Coast, East Coast, Southeast Asia. Like, we just need you to focus. Just be a Bama fan. You don't have to.
My man is a Barcelona fan as well. Easy on him.
I mean, my boy came in the other day. He talking about Prime and saying Georgia was the best, and then Caleb Williams said something about Caleb. I mean, he was just all over the place, man. Anything not to just reveal the fact that he's a Bama fan. There's room on the wagon. There's usually a lot of room on the wagon.
It's a big wagon.
It's a big old wagon. It's a lot of championships on this wagon. So the more championships, the more wagon space you get. You can hop on this bad boy if you want to. Now you can hop on this wagon, stay on for the ride. Just don't yell too loud. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk too loud.
Quinn Ewers just had an NIL deal with a private jet company. Mm-hmm. And while that's awesome, right? Like, that's cool. That's stuff like that's cool to see, because that's NIL. That's what it's supposed to be. But the only thing I could think, Coach, is like, oh, it could not be me. You would not get me in that private jet. I'd be on the ground like, please, God, just give me a car sponsorship.
No way,
I'm
no
not
way.
going up there.
And see, I could do planes. I could do regular planes. But the first time, all right, so y'all know I'm prior service military. The first time I had to get on an Apache, that was probably the scariest flight I have ever been on. And then I had to, I was the jump command. I was the jump commander. So basically, jump commander, you're hanging. You're like latched in with a D-ring. You got a harness on, and you're hanging out of the freaking helicopter while you're moving. Like, it is crazy, bro. And so like you're like your air assault, your like rites of passage flight. They always get like the hottest pilot. They always get the hottest pilot. And I had just pinned on corporal, so I'm a junior NCO. And the flight, man, I mean, he was going over. We're in Fort Hood, Texas. We're in Belton County, where our training grounds was. And there's a creek, man, and he's just riding so low to the ground, and just the bottom of the Apache, you could feel it. And I'm hooked up to this D ring, just. I'm telling you, I couldn't hold it down. Once we touched down, it was up. But after that,
thrown up on him.
Man, it was crazy. I couldn't throw up on him. I had so many. Sergeant Major was in the plane. I mean, in the Apache with us. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen, you want to know my view on helicopters? They couldn't protect Kobe, so how you think they're gonna protect me? I'm not getting in a helicopter.
Hey, and he was the Mamba, man.
They couldn't protect Kobe. I'm nobody.
Man, that's a touchy subject for me. I might have to take a moment. You know, I'm a diehard Kobe. But y'all, check this out, man. Who is this? Ronnie Jones. All right.
Ronnie's fun, man. Ronnie likes him as he does.
Ronnie, I will shoot, ruck, anything when it comes to being a soldier, a combat soldier in this chat. I promise you. They don't make them like Smook, I promise you. They don't make them like Sarn Hines. Nah, it wasn't a Black Hawk. It was definitely an Apache. See, you a Black Hawk. See, that's too much TV. Too much TV. Get off of it. Get off of it. But anyways, what I was getting to, man. What were we talking about? The portal?
Yeah.
Y'all, the amount of stuff, and I will give y'all this tidbit. The amount of stuff I heard today from GMs, coaches, I mean, and this is NFL personnel, you know, just having small conversations about portal and NIL. Like, this is not a good thing for college football right now. Like, even the evaluation process of college athletes going into the pros is being, like, I guess you can say, somewhat tainted because of what NIL is allowing these players to do. You don't get to a coaching staff that's been able to evaluate a player for 3 or 4 years now. You might have a coaching staff that's literally catching a player in one good year. And that's what these GMs and these teams are going off of. But they're not looking at the previous 2 years when he had problems with such and such or whatever. And now, you know, you get what I'm saying? So they draft them thinking that they're going to get a certain product, and there's no longevity. There's no consistency to come along with it. And even like the amount of money that some of these colleges are putting out to get players to play for them, man, it's ridiculous. So I'm 100% in support of what Coach Saban is doing. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things are going to get shaken up after this portal window opens. Ty, you and Jay was on to something. I wasn't as hip to it until like maybe 4 days ago. Nah, yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've been talking about the portal, and not only that, guys, you're in a situation where you know it's problematic when someone who's benefiting from the portal, like Lane Kiffin, right? Whenever he comes out and is like, hey, this is a problem. This isn't sustainable. When Lane Kiffin, who is raking wins from the portal, comes out and is like, yeah, I'm benefiting, but this is, even though I'm benefiting, objectively speaking, this isn't good. And Antoine Bear is now not going to leave USC because, you know, some stuff cleared.
Hey, checks are clearing now. This portal window is scaring a lot of universities. There were a lot of people that were saying, we're going to hold off till spring is over with. Nah, these kids like, man, I done did 13 practices and my folks, it's been a month. Come on, man. You don't do that come on, bro. Come on. All right. Let me let somebody leak the fact that I'm thinking about the portal. Oh no, Bear. Oh, where's the pen? Where's the pen? Can we do this electronic? Will you accept the e-check? Like that's what it's coming down to.
Because I promise you this. There's a lot of people saying, oh, well, Hayes and them jumped the gun. I've talked to Hayes. He takes his job very seriously, and he has built it on trust. He's not putting out something unless he has confirmed there's smoke. There's a reason why every publication said the same thing. Now, everybody was like, hey, it's not a foregone conclusion he leaves, but things happened, right? things happen. So yeah, he's staying. He is staying. That's going to be interesting. But now 1-3 NIL is reporting about the thing I just told you about, the Quinn Ewers private, which is, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's cool. Jackson Dart is also with the same company. Nicholas Air, Innovative Private Air Travel, but you could just never see me. I would tell them, like, thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm not riding in your plane. Listen, my wife and I, on our honeymoon, we could have gone. Davin says Hayes is goated. Hayes is a good dude, man.
Yeah, he definitely
Hayes
is.
on the phone. He's a good kid. He's not putting something out unless he knows.
Isn't he just now turning like 20, 21, something
he's
like that?
22, 23.
Yeah, like he's literally like not a kid anymore, but he's a kid, man. He's literally just enjoys doing what he does for the college football scene, and I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some great graphic artists out there, but he definitely set a trend, and he set a standard. People like you all are very familiar with Cinco de God. Cinco de God uses Hayes work to kind of motivate him and push him to be different, you know, show his I guess you could say his qualities, what makes him different from Hayes. Pushes a lot of people, so I do commend Hayes on what he does, man.
And not only like setting the trend, but people got to realize Hayes was out there building the relationships, right? There was an ESPN article when Hayes was like 15 or 16 talking about the group of high schoolers who know everything behind the scenes. And that's who they were talking about. This article was in like 2015. Well, they're talking about Hayes saying like, hey, there's these high school kids out there building relationships and they know everything going on in the background. Now, the reason why Hayes is in the position is because he's good, like Smook, at building the relationships, but maintaining trust. What happened, Coach?
I just got your gift.
It finally, finally went through. Ooh, wee.
Oh man, ooh wee. Yeah, man, it's gonna get good, man.
But here's what I will say, talking about the jet experience, right? My wife and I, we went for our honeymoon, because you guys know, over here at Bama Football on YouTube, you get everything. You get football news, you get basketball news, you get recruiting news, you get transfer portal news, you get game analysis, post-game analysis, pre-game analysis, you get practice analysis, but you also get just like streamer talk, right? Like where we just talk about anything. Food. We did a whole breakfast segment the other day. We talk about how Kyle's never been to Buc-ee's. Criminal, right? Absolutely criminal. But my wife and I, we were going to do our honeymoon and we were going to fly to California, but I was like, no, I'm not getting on a plane. That's not happening. So we drove from Dallas, Texas to California, stopped in Vegas when the NBA Summer League was there, got to see the Sphere, had a great time in Vegas, and then went on to California. But I'm not getting in a plane unless I have to. I'm going to tell y'all why. My senior year of college, we flew out to San Francisco for a moot court tournament. San Francisco was amazing. We got to tour Alcatraz. I got to tour a federal court out there, the federal court in that district. We got to meet some of the justices, all that good stuff. It was awesome, right? I loved my time there. But when we were flying into San Francisco, it was one of those situations where the plane dropped really quick and people came out of their seats and like hit their head on the top. Some people were hurt, but it scared me to death because I've never had that feeling of like I don't know. Ugh. Just even now I get the heebie-jeebies thinking about it. That and spiders, those are my fears. Other than that, I'll pick up a snake. I'm not worried about a snake. I used to think I was the crocodile hunter, Smoop.
I'm the dog whisperer. I'm the dog whisperer. I don't care where I go, what kind of dog it is. I could make friends with any dog. I could get any dog to somewhat listen. Like
So before I leave here, I'm going to tell y'all we've done story times from the ranch, right?
Oh Lord!
So I'm going to give y'all a story time from the ranch. No. We've had the bull, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like I thought you had another story with the bull because
no. The bull. we'd have people from all over the world come and see the ranch. So like we'd have people from France come in, and my dad would always have me mess with them. So he's like, hey, get on Son of a Gun and go meet them. And so they'd come down the driveway, and I'm riding this big 6-foot bull with 7-foot horns. And they're like, we are not in Paris anymore. And I'm like, no, you are not. You're in Texas. This is what we do. But so we had someone come because my dad did like a foreign exchange program where we had people live with us from Brazil, Turkey, Lebanon, Czech Republic, you name it. We had people from all over. Well, we had a guy come from Australia. And before he had come and worked on the ranch because he wanted to learn the horse industry. And my dad, before he passed, he had gone to 28 or so foreign countries helping them establish the horse industry. This guy came from Australia. Before he came to us, he was working with Steve Irwin at Steve Irwin's zoo, or his facility over there in Australia. So he finds out I'm a big crocodile hunter fan. I get a care package from Australia, signed posters, signed bobblehead, a note from Steve Irwin, shirts, the whole 9 yards. My mom has it at her house in Virginia. But that made my affirmation that I was the next crocodile hunter even worse. And so I've actually been bit by just a Texas rat snake. I picked up a 6-foot Texas rat snake when I was like 5 years old, and it turned around and got me in the nose. But honest to God, there was a story of I had a little bit of a showdown with the cottonmouth coach. When I was young, a cottonmouth got in my toy box. And my mom said she came around the side, and I was sitting in there grabbing toys out the toy box. And then she said she saw me slapping something. Well, it turns out I was grabbing the toys out the toy box, and the cottonmouth was trying to bite me. How it didn't, I don't know. And I would just slap the heck out of it as a child. I made it so mad that my dad couldn't get to it with the axe. He had to go get the gun. I made that thing mad. But have y'all ever seen the Wild Thornberries? I was Donnie.
Okay. I can see that. I can see Ty being Donnie. Like
just like running around the house, like, just running around the ranch like, I was Donnie.
Man, it's crazy. We had to kill a cottonmouth when we was out in the field in Fort Hood. We was going across a little brook. We was going across a little brook formation, and one of my as a matter of fact, he wasn't even in our squad. It was one of the scouts. They were kind of like maybe 15 meters. We had like 15 meters between each personnel, and he thought he got bit. And because the cottonmouth struck him so hard on his boot that he thought he got bit. So when it hit his boot, he just like crying and stuff. And they pulled him off. They like, what's going on? We thought he rolled his ankle or something. And you turn around, man, and they pulling him away, and you just see this stick. Maybe he had to be like, he wasn't that long, man. But
they're not long, but they're
yeah, bro. And man, I seen so all my military personnel, y'all know the E-tools, the little personal shovels we carry. Man, you would have thought we was jumping somebody. About 6 E-tools came out. We just I'm talking about everybody take. And you got some of us brothers out there. We don't play around with no snakes not no poison snake. We in that mud. I'm going in, snapping back like scared to hit, bro. We jumped that mud. We chopped them up good though. We chopped them up good.
Well, hey, we might. I'm trying to get for everybody in the undefeated. I'm trying to get Coach Smook and Jance out here to Texas.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm coming for media day.
I like bow hunting. And we do bow hunting with hogs, but we don't do it in the blinds. We do spot and stalks.
Yeah,
we're on the ground going after the hogs with bows. That's fun.
And
that's fun now.
I do some hog hunting now. You guys, you bring the dogs out. Do you have the dogs out with you, or is it just us with the bow?
No, it's just me with a bow and a dream.
I'm gonna have to carry one on my hip, bro, because them hogs in Texas is different. Now we got some big hogs in Alabama and Georgia. I live in Fort Mitchell. I'm from Phoenix City, Fort Mitchell area, right outside the back gate of Fort Benning. It's open season on them bad boys. Like you could literally sit out on the river on the river in Chattahoochee River on the back gate of Fort Benning and just pick them off, and nobody gonna mess with you. Bow, rifle. You could just pick them off. Nobody gonna mess with you. But in Texas, that's when I first learned how to. I started trying to train my dogs to be to do some hog hunting. I had a catch dog. His name was Duke. And Tracy, I don't know what she was. She was just crazy. She was attacking by herself. She was different.
Yeah,
But,
see, I with Maya, I was too scared to let Maya out there. I'm like, no, you're a princess. You stay inside. You're pampered. My dog, and Smook has said this, my dog Maya is
that's the baby.
Unbelievably spoiled.
That's the baby. I'm telling you, she is the queen. She is the queen of the house, or the princess of the house, you know, and she gets what she wants when she wants it. When it's time to go outside, she's going to go outside.
Yeah, I answer to her beck and call, not the other way around. And I've accepted this. She's 10 years old. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what I mean?
That's the age where you just they're no longer the pet. You know, they're basically the other parent that kind of, you get what I'm saying? And you kind of just roll with it, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, I'm going to let you roll with your segment. It is near the 12 o'clock hour. I know you've got some great intel. You've been waiting.
I don't. Let me tell you.
I'm lying to the people.
Let me tell y'all the truth, because I'm not going to stay on here long. I just got another text message, and we have another set. Like, y'all, when I say this channel is really growing, the exposure is getting there. I wish my brother Ty was here to be boots on the ground, because it would be even crazier. You know, personalities are everything right now. And I feel like I have a pretty decent one. I feel like, you know, I'm getting more and more confident every time I step on that campus. And today, these hands right here, Jamarcus Shepard, he know my grip. You know what I'm saying? Because we laughed a couple times. Pause. You right? Pause. But we very familiar right now. Coach G, another guy, you know, very familiar. I mean, we're working, man. We're working, and it's not like going and begging for anything. I'm in there. So what I did today was I had the privilege of shooting clips of Jace's workout, and he, you know, they're going to allow me to edit it for him, and I'll be the one putting out the unofficial stuff. You got Alabama media team; they'll be putting out their stuff. But it was no other media there, and I that's why I said I counted an honor and privilege to have represent Bama football on YouTube, and I think I represented us very well. So
I have no doubt.
When the word gets back to Kyle of, you know, I wasn't in the way, and I wasn't, you know, places I was, because some people use that opportunity to try to make connections. I was just there, you know, and I was being recognized. Like I said, when Courtney Morgan came out and was like, all right, coach, you know, and it's a lot of coaches in there. I ain't turn around, come and bump me and like, what's up, man? I know you hear me. Like, you know, that was cool, bro. That was cool. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and fake like it wasn't, man. It was unreal. It was so surreal to be there in that space, knowing where I was 4 months ago, bro. It was so surreal, man. And I was just soaking it all in, trying my best not to be a fanboy. Justice Haynes came in there. He was like, man, y'all be asking the good questions, man. You and Kyle, y'all ask all the good questions. You know, like we getting praise from the players. It's awesome to be in this space, y'all. And y'all are part of it too, fam. Y'all are part of it. Y'all are really a part of it, and I appreciate y'all.
Awesome to hear, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Let you do your little segment before you shut it down.
Yeah.
And we'll talk again tomorrow. Everybody in the Undefeated Roll Tide. We're gonna have more fun tomorrow leading into A-Day. As always, Coach, kill it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Roll Tide, man. Hey, y'all. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. I'm not gonna stay around long, man. I see y'all got funny jokes today. I'm not even with the jokes. I'm in such a good mood, man. I don't even feel like joking with y'all today. I'm just saying, like, I'm on cloud nine right now. Like, I'm happy. I worked last night. You know, I didn't get off till 5 this morning. Got back, you know, had to go get my hair done. For all y'all bald-headed little mugs out there. Yeah. Went and got my hair done. All my fellas holding it down with the locks and the length. Hey, keep it going. For all my bald-headed brothers, wear cap Saturday because it's gonna be hot. And then also, man, just, you know, getting that call yesterday, getting the opportunity, it was big. It was definitely a big opportunity to be on that platform, man, and just, man, seeing NFL scouts and coaches, like the Cardinals had representation there, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Texans, the Cowboys, Green Bay, Minnesota. It was a lot of teams there to evaluate Jace, and I'm just glad he had an awesome workout, y'all. Let me pull. This is some of the stats that I got. These are unofficial, so don't go quoting anything or saying whatever. This is unofficial. This is what I was evaluating because they're not going to call. What's up, Mr. Renrico? How you feeling? But they're not going to tell when you're at the combine. They're not going to tell everybody what the official stat keeper is, the one up there writing everything down. So Jace is 5'10", 5'11", I think. His official weight was 219, right? That was the only official thing that I got. His official weight was 219. And once you see the pictures and stuff that I posted, if you look at the pictures that I'm going to post, you'll see, man, I mean, still solid, still has a nice size on him. His vert, I got a 33-inch vert from him. I thought it was 36. I thought I had wrote 30, but I got 33 down. They asked him at the beginning how much did they want him to clear out. So when you do the vert, they'll clear out a level. If you know you can hit that level, they're cleared out so they don't waste time. You don't waste time missing and swinging or whatever that stuff that you already can hit. So he cleared the 30, cleared that by like 4 or 5 sticks. So it had to be like a 36-inch vert, if I'm not mistaken. His unofficial broad jump, I got a 9.5, which is solid. Being that he's rehabbing from that injury, just imagine him 100%. You could add another maybe 6 or 7 inches onto that, possibly, right? And they'll put him right at the 10-2, 10-3 mark where he was aiming for. Not fully healthy, right? He's still aiming for those target numbers. My 40 times that I got for him, the unofficials, were a 4.52 and a 4.49. Those were the unofficials that I got for him. A 4.52 was his first one. And one thing, Jace, I believe he was kind of nervous about the 40. You could tell he wasn't fully comfortable on that first one, but he ended up stretching out the last maybe 15 meters of that first one. And you could see that his confidence came back to go into that second one, and he just blew it away. And then when he started doing the passing drills, the running back drills, you can tell the injury is still there, right? You can tell that, things are still not 100%, but his explosion out of breaks, out of cuts was still there. Didn't drop a pass. So Broncos, I think they had their running back coach out there or one of the scouts out there throwing passes to him. And he did not drop a pass, and the guy was definitely throwing some dots. So it was pretty awesome to see Jace McClellan do his thing today. I was so proud of him. His mom, she's like a big sister to me. Shout out to Miss Mia McClellan. Love her so much, man. His agent was there. It was a lot of support there for him, for it to be a private workout. Some of the players showed up. What's my guy name? I can't think of his name for nothing right now. DJ Dale got to meet DJ Dale. That was pretty cool. Denzel Duval and Courtney Morgan, they were both on the sidelines talking, talking smack to Justice. It was funny seeing that interaction. It was just a fun day overall, fun morning. And I'm excited, man, to continue to grow in this industry, continue to make connections, and continue to get y'all, higher levels of access. There's some content things going to be going on. Y'all see my eyes red. I need to get some sleep. There's some content things going to be going on with the University of Alabama here in the future, and I think y'all are going to like it. A lot of the old fans probably won't take to it, because it's not football or it's not college football to them. But it's a new era. Like somebody said earlier, it's a new era of college football. It's a new era of society. And, you got to keep up or get left behind. Coach Saban said it best. Dinosaurs are extinct for a reason. They couldn't evolve. They didn't have the means or the mindsets, the brains or the wherewithal to evolve. So I love what Coach Kalen DeBoer and the staff is doing, not only with the players, but the media access that we've been granted. Shout out to Josh Maxson. Shout out to JT Ellis, I think that's his name. Two guys that were, personally made sure I got squared away once I got there. I gotta remember the assistant's name. I can't remember her name for nothing. I just call her Miss J, I think. Yeah, Miss J. I can't remember her first name, but shouts out to her. Yeah, man. So I'm excited. Y'all. Appreciate all the real support here, y'all. I mean, y'all have some real support here. There are some people who don't like what we do or don't like what I do. You know, they have certain favorite panelists. But as long as you're supporting the team, I'm happy. But for those that make it their duty to support everyone on this panel, I appreciate you so much. Yeah, so announcements, y'all know I don't think Kyle did it yet. Did Kyle make the announcement about where we're going to be for A Day? Did he make the announcement? Because if not, then I'll wait till he make that announcement. James, dang, don't nobody care. You're not even a fan funder. Bye. You one of the ones I was talking about the other day. And yeah, he a statue. Who a statue? James, dang, you follow me from the Bama Standard. You one of them weird trolls, man. I feel sorry for you, man. The abandoned statue. Oh, he said something about the statue. Oh man, how did I get on the show? By not paying attention to cats like you and listening to people like you. The saving statue. Okay, I was about to say the abandoned statue. I thought you were talking about the old style. I thought you was talking about. Yeah, he said we'll do our little meet and greet at the saving statue. I don't know if he's going to announce where we're actually broadcasting from because it's a pretty sweet spot. So I can't wait till we rock that out. But yeah, James, you can go. If you wait for Kyle, you have to come back tomorrow morning. Yeah, you garbage, James. Sick of them. But fam, what's up, Cook? Y'all know I ain't got. See, this is a no nonsense type day because I got a lot of work to do after this, so I ain't got time for the trolls. They go try it on another day, just not today. It's going to be a great day, Anthony. Facts. A-Day going to be crazy. I don't know. Listen, A-Day is going to be so crazy, y'all. And the fact that this weather is passing through right now, like it's real ugly out here. You know, it's real. The weather's real stormy or whatever. You know, cloudy and stuff. But A-Day going to be a vibe, y'all. Oh, okay. So he did say it. Okay, bet. Okay, so I was just making sure I didn't release nothing. So I see a few comments already. So we will be broadcasting from Westgate, the nice hotel next to the stadium. We're gonna be on the little deck part, the sky deck. It's gonna be crazy, y'all. A-Day will be lit tuning in from SC, but man, hey, I wish you could be here, T. I wish you could be here, fam. Do we know how Coach Kalen DeBoer runs spring scrimmages? How much live play? So I think there will be live offense and defense, of course. There won't be live special teams. You know, that's just not smart. And from what we're hearing, it's going to be ones versus ones, twos versus twos. They're trying to keep the same tradition of the pork and beans tradition. So that's cool. And I think the only way you keep that tradition, you match the teams up evenly. I wouldn't mind seeing like an offense versus defense scrimmage where defense gets points for creating turnovers, turnover on downs, interceptions. You know, it has a certain amount of points, fumbles, sacks. You know, if you get a sack on third down, automatic, turnover, got a punt, like no going for it on fourth and more than 5. You get what I'm saying? So I'm excited. Joseph Davison, my guy. Joseph, you be supporting, fam. I appreciate you. Sean, how you feeling? How you feeling today? David Mills. Hey, Paul Young. Good to see you in the chat again, my guy. Good to see you again. Who's my sleeper to watch for A-Day on offense and defense? My sleeper on offense, I'm going to tell y'all, and y'all might think I'm crazy for saying this. I think Miles McVay, if they permit him to play, I think he's going to come out there with something to prove. Y'all seen a lot. So what we're seeing again, this is why I love, knowing what I know. I told y'all the offensive line rotation would be deep. They want to work like 7. They want to have 8 or 9 offensive line that can play at just about every position minus the center position. So you're going to have left tackles that need to know how to play left guard. They also need to know how to play right tackle. So you see that happening right now with this offensive line. A few guys nicked up, and that's what you're seeing. So offense, I think Miles McVay is my sleeper. And then on defense, somebody that's going to make some plays. Probably not a lot of people talking about him. Hey, it's hard on defense because I want to say Dre. I want to say Curtis Perry. I want to say Jeremiah Beeman. I mean, everybody's talking about Quay Russaw, right? Just a few names that nobody's talking about. So I'm thinking maybe Dre Kirkpatrick. Dre, I'm gonna go with Dre in the secondary, but I'm gonna also say at the same time Yanzi Pierre. I'm gonna say Yanzi Pierre over Dre. I'm gonna say Yanzi Pierre. Those are my sleepers. Who are y'all sleepers in the chat? Offensive, defense. Who are y'all sleepers? That's a good one. Cook. Who are y'all sleepers? I think it's going to be one of the DNs going against the second offensive line unit. Yeah. Oh, wow. I like that one too. Danny Lewis. I like Danny Lewis. Yanzi fits the mold. He does. Been waiting on Perry. Recruiting said he was violent. Hey, listen. Curtis Perry, that whole defensive line is Ja Latham is a leader in that group now. And he's like, if I had to rank them all, which would be hard to do, I would put Ja at like 5. Maybe 4. Because you got the likes of Jeremiah Beam is going crazy. Hunter Osborne is going crazy right now. Tim Keenan is consistent. Then Ja. Then you got guys like LT Overton, who's been making the spark. I said Jordan Renard. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. It's trying to catch up with me. Jordan Renard, Edric Hill. Edric Hill's still there. 92. I'm trying to think who 92 is. I think that's either Renard. But Tim Smith, both the Tims are being leaders. Jaheim Otis hasn't been at practice yet, so it's good. It's good that we have depth enough to where he's not needed. Hopefully it doesn't affect his playing time, but he comes into the season healthy. I don't think he's going to be counted on to carry a heavy load this year anyway. So Cole Adams. I don't think Cole Adams is a sleeper no more. He kind of went crazy to this last scrimmage. Boots and Mitchell. I like it. Justin Haynes will have a big day. I mean, he's not a sleeper though. We asked for sleepers. I think Tyler Booker is going to get snaps at both guard, right tackle, guard and right tackle. I don't think he's going to play left tackle because I think that move Miles McVay was taking some snaps at left tackle too. Bubba Hampton has been turning heads. Antoine, you remember that conversation? It was Coin Guy. Yep. Definitely was. Tim Smith prime for a Baltimore year. I'm feeling it. D Hill and the Husky. That sounds like it could be a playmaking position in this D. Husky. Husky and Wolf. I think Husky and Wolf will be like the primary playmakers of this defensive scheme. Justin Jefferson, another one. I don't consider him a sleeper. I think Justin Jefferson is finally going to get unleashed, so that's going to be cool. Maybe Jeremy Bernard. I don't think they're going to force too many opportunities or force too many looks at him. I guarantee you, we're going to see a lot of the young guys get targeted. Caleb Odom. Has Tony Mitchell become a sleeper? Yeah. I'm like 70-30, 65-35 with that thought. Tony Mitchell becoming a sleeper. Elijah May. Tip, you've been listening, huh? Nah, if Elijah May go out there and get a pick or do anything crazy, I have a good feeling that we might see Bama's first scholarship offer post-spring, like that ceremony when they come to the huddle. I think Elijah May might be that guy. That'll be cool though. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. I like the sleepers question. Hey, but y'all, let's go ahead and let me get up out of here, y'all. I got a lot of work to do. I wanna make sure I'm getting this good content for y'all, getting it put out. Bama Football on YouTube will be releasing some clips of Jalen's. I mean, not Jalen, but Jace McClellan's pro day. So be on the lookout for that. Again, if you aren't already, go ahead and follow your boy at Coach Smook on all platforms. That's Coach Smook on all platforms. I got weirdos writing me on Instagram again. I'm sorry, y'all. Texting a boss. But listen, follow your boy at Coach Mook on all platforms. Be looking out on Twitter for the link, y'all. We got to get these reservations, RSVP. Don't forget, when you RSVP for Outside with Coach Smook, A Day After Dark to go bowling, if you're coming to A Day, make sure you check your email. There's you have to complete your form of payment. You have to complete your payment so that you can secure your spot. We need to fill 10 more. I think it's 14 more slots. We need to fill 14 more slots. So go ahead and get that in so we can go ahead and turn this money in today by end of business, right? And we can have everything set up. If we don't do it, I just cancel it and say, hey, whoever want to link up at this spot, we'll link up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, and I know who paid, so I'll be able to get your money back and all that good stuff. Antoine, Dwight, I think a couple of y'all have already purchased. But yeah, go check Twitter. If you need it on Instagram, hit me on Instagram. If you need it on another platform, hit me up. I'll send you the link. I personally send you the link. I'll post it in my Discord. If you're already in my Discord, you'll be able to see it. But other than that, y'all, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with your boy. It's been fun, man. It's going to be an awesome weekend. I can't wait to see how this team performs. Jalen Milroe, the leader of this offense, Ty Simpson, the up-and-coming guy, Caleb Odom, a freshman phenom that we're ready to see on the field. This offensive line, ready to see them get together. This defensive line, how ferocious they are. The linebackers, how they're able to play in space. It's going to be an awesome scrimmage, y'all. I can't wait to get into it. But I really appreciate y'all once again. I am Coach Bama Football on YouTube. Make sure y'all drop a thumbs up before you get up out of here. And enjoy the rest of your day until we see you later on tonight. What's the schedule for tonight? Is there a schedule for tonight? What's today? Thursday? Oh, no, we have post-practice report with myself and Kyle. We'll be doing a post-practice report because we have a presser. Today, Thursday, right? Yeah, we'll have a presser with Coach Kaylin DeBoer. So check Twitter. I'd like for y'all to interact and let me know what kind of questions you all want me to ask. What kind of questions you want myself or Kyle to ask. I'll be posting that information. I'll be posting that tweet here soon. But I'll catch y'all on the flip side, y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. It's been fun. And I'm going to leave y'all with a big old roll tide roll. Man, I can't wait to see y'all in this stadium right here. I can't wait to see y'all up here. Can't wait. Y'all better not be up here during A-Day. If y'all way up here during A-Day, y'all doing something wrong. Y'all need to be down here. Y'all need to be like right up in this area, right here. See, now over here is where you'll see where I won't be over there. That's where I won't be, okay? I'm trying to get like maybe right here, up in this area, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get like right there. There's gonna be probably up here. I can see theirs being right here. Yeah, theirs. That's your spot. Is that theirs? That's theirs, y'all. Theirs, I ain't know. Let me stop messing with y'all, man. Y'all know I'm a fool. Hey, much love, y'all. Have a great day. Roll Tide. And y'all have a good one, man. I appreciate y'all.